everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel.
I'm Terry Bradshaw.
And we welcome you to our special Thanksgiving Day edition of the NFL Today. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Thank you. Happy Turkey Day, Greg.
And we thank you for spending part of your holiday with us. And as a very special feature a bit later, we will hear from President-elect Bill Clinton. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to sit down and speak with him in Little Rock. We talked about sports in general, football in particular, and a whole lot more. And in just a half hour from now, we will bring you the Giants and the Cowboys. The Cowboys feature Emmitt Smith, who leads the NFC in rushing, 1,127 yards and 13 touchdowns. The weather is a factor there today. It's 35 degrees in Texas Stadium. With the wind chill, it feels 17.
Hey, good luck to y'all. Y'all have fun today eating that fat turkey. We'll see y'all later. Gotta go to work.
All right, Emmett, the Giants will be led by Kent Graham, a rookie 8th-round draft pick out of Ohio State. Graham came on in relief of the injured Jeff Hostetler last Sunday against the Eagles, and ready or not, he gets his first NFL start today.
I've always felt like I've had the talent and ability to play in the NFL, and understanding how quarterbacks can get hurt pretty easy. In that sense, it doesn't surprise me, but a year ago, I would have never thought that I'd be starting on Thanksgiving Day against Dallas.
Could Kent Graham be the next Clint Longley? Back in 1974, Longley came off the Cowboys bench to replace an injured Roger Staubach and rallied Dallas to a dramatic win over the Washington Redskins.
Coach Hamley said, you know Clint Longley? I said, I have no clue who he is. And he told me he came in and did pretty well. He said he might start calling me Clint, pretty soon. I said, well, I never thought I'd ever be called Clint in my life, but that's a compliment, definitely.
Backing up Kent Graham is another rookie, David Brown, the Giants supplemental draft first-round pick from Duke, who is yet to take a snap in the NFL. As for the Giants, Jeff Hostetler, he was crushed by the Eagles' Mike Golick on Sunday and is still feeling the after effects of the concussion he suffered, but Hoss should be ready to go in 10 days when Washington visits the Meadowlands. As for the rest of the Giants team, it seems the only thing the players and head coach have in common is the question of whether they're all on the same page.
As far as communication, as far as really knowing one another and believing in one another, I don't think we're on a strong page that way. We're holding together on a thin line. I mean, I wouldn't even know if Rod Russ was married or anything because I never sat down and had a talk with him like that.
At this point in time, I'm startled. I mean, I don't know what to think. There's some mistakes being made, and you don't know whether they're coaching mistakes or they're player-related mistakes, but they're mistakes. And the bottom line is the two aren't on the same page. That needs to happen.
When I think we aren't on the same page, if I do think that, I address it, yes.
So in your mind, you're satisfied with coaches and players being on the same page?
When I think that we need to get on the same page, I always address it.
Boy, the Giants, hopeless cause or correctable situation?
Greg, I would have said it's correctable early in the season, but my gosh, we're 10, 11 games into the season already, and so now you go back and you just say this. This is how you sum this up. The players don't like Ray Handley. He doesn't communicate. So we get rid of the players, or we get rid of Ray Handley and we bring back the great communicator, Bill Parcells, and then they have one another. I just find it hard to believe that that's such a big deal. Give me a game plan, give me an opponent, and give me a Sunday game, and let me do my job. I've never seen people find so many excuses after every loss. I mean, Ray Handley's a fine coach. Get rid of the players or bring back Parcells.
I think Bill Parcells comes back, incidentally. As for the Dallas Cowboys now, 2 weeks ago, they lost to the Rams. They struggled last Sunday at Phoenix. You worried about their offense?
I'm not. Are you? I'm not. I don't think so. What the Rams did, basically, Greg, was get up in an 8-man front, stuff the run, but the real key was the Rams were able to run their offense and keep the ball from the Cowboys' offense. I want to show you something. This is a linebacker down. This is a four-man front. Another linebacker is missing here, and an extra defensive back is brought in. Now, the tackles for Phoenix control the guards of the Cowboys and forcing Emmitt Smith wide. Therefore, Emmitt Smith, not a very good runner wide. The key here is that an extra defensive back brought in by Phoenix. They played the nickel, 5 defensive backs on first down, and let their tackles control the inside running game of the Cowboys and took that extra defensive back and doubled up Michael Irvin. He only caught 1 ball. The Giants can do the same thing by putting down a linebacker, Carl Banks, take out Diassi, bring in a defensive back, double Michael, and you got the same scheme.
team.
All right, Terry, but later in the show, Leslie Visser will have an in-depth look at the resurgent Dallas Cowboys. The other traditional Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit, that is now a final. The Lions hosted the Houston Oilers earlier today, and Houston coming from behind, Lorenzo White on the draw, 8 yards with 1:17 to play, and the Oilers beat the Detroit Lions today 24-21. Coming up, the latest on Joe Montana and Pat O'Brien with a special Thanksgiving Day story as our holiday festivities continue live from New York on the NFL Today.
The NFL Today is sponsored by Pizza Hut, home of the half-price pizza policy. Cotton Incorporated, for America's cotton growers. Cotton, the fabric of our lives. Lincoln Mercury, and the complete line of 1993 Lincoln and Mercury automobiles. And by Motorola, a global leader in communications and electronics.
Joe Montana was added to the 49ers practice squad yesterday, running the scout team, impersonating Eagle quarterback Randall Cunningham. Jim Gray caught up with him.
How does it feel to be back out here?
Good. Feels great so far. So far, so good.
Welcomed you with open arms here. Don't feel any of the distractions or anything that everybody's been writing and talking about?
Not that I know of. Doesn't feel like it.
If you had to, could you play on Sunday?
If I had to, yeah, I could play.
You gonna tell George that?
I don't think, no, because I don't think I have to.
I think Joe's been working out longer than people really expected because he's really tossing the ball well. You can tell his drop back. He's releasing the ball quickly, and he's looking sharp.
It's a lot more fun to have Joe around when he's throwing the ball than when he's not throwing the ball.
Are you basically sick of this whole thing?
No, I mean, I'm going to take it very positively. You know, we're going to work well together. We're going to keep building on what we're doing, and it's just going to get better.
Most of you will see the 49ers host the Eagles in our doubleheader game on Sunday. If San Francisco wins, they're in the playoffs. Meanwhile, down the coast in Southern California, another Thanksgiving story. Pat O'Brien joins us with details. Happy Thanksgiving, Pat.
Same to you, Greg, Terry. Hi, everybody. You know, back in August, 13-year-old Kelly Knutson of Huntington Beach, California, was out jogging when she collapsed from what was diagnosed later as heart dysrhythmia, the syndrome that took the life of Loyola Marymount basketball star Hank Gathers. Thankfully, LA Rams head coach trainer Jim Anderson, the trainer, and his assistant, Blynn De Niro, were nearby. They rushed over, performed CPR, and helped save Kelly Knutson's life.
As Thanksgiving comes up, one always, at least I do, just take it for granted, but on a day like today, all that's happened to us, there's nothing more we can thank as far as the Rams trainer for saving Kelly.
Earlier this week, Rams owner Georgia Frontiere invited Kelly and her grateful family to meet the rest of the team.
She's so proud of us.
She looks great.
Hi.
Thank you. It's just a great thing. Glad we could help.
Oh, God, if you guys hadn't been there. If you guys hadn't been you.
But because they were and because they acted quickly, permanent brain damage was avoided. Kelly is still undergoing successful therapy.
Puts the meaning of Thanksgiving into perspective. You know, we're all in the professional football world and think about winning games, and, you know, something like this kind of puts life in perspective. So I think it's a good Thanksgiving message.
Anytime.
Come back, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
We're so thankful that they were there that day. And to come walking around the corner and see Kelly in that picture. What Thanksgiving's all about.
Thankful for what you have. By the way, Kelly will be fully recovered by the spring. Happy Thanksgiving, Kelly.
Good story, Pat. Pat will have more for us at halftime. Coming up next, Leslie takes us for a look at America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, then and now. And a bit later, a conversation with President-elect Bill Clinton. Stay tuned as we continue on this Thanksgiving edition of the NFL Today. The Ring of Honor at Texas Stadium. At 9-2, Dallas is recapturing the glory of seasons past and can clinch a playoff spot with a win today, coupled with a loss Sunday by either Green Bay or Washington. And Leslie Visser joins us in our studio with a look at the Cowboy football legacy. Happy Thanksgiving.
Hello, Greg. Happy holiday. Generations of you out there, and most of us in here, grew up watching a successful Dallas Cowboys team. After all, for 20 straight years, they had winning seasons. Well, they're back, the most popular team in the country, according to one poll. The team you love to love or the team you love to hate?
I really despised America's team. I thought they were finesse and too nice of guys.
Sorry, Jim, but these nice guys always seem to finish first. Led by a stoic but brilliant coach, a modest but heroic quarterback, and a series of doomsday defenses, the Cowboys were America's team.
We had all of our characters like other teams do, and it just made for, I think, a unique blend that people, regardless of what part of the country you're in, could kind of develop an affection for, which they did.
Those players, that coach, have vanished into legend, but traces of their popularity remain. And hey, isn't everybody's fantasy to be a Cowboy?
Happy trails to you.
The trail was picked up and followed by one young man down in Florida.
I wanted to be Roger Staubach. I mean, at that age, I was playing quarterback, and I wanted to be Roger Staubach. I'd just get back there and scramble, Roger to dodge it on the loose, and so forth. You know, just have fun. It was a great time.
It is a blessing, but also a curse for the 92 Cowboys to be so successful as to conjure up images of their ancestral past.
It's our niche now. It's our time, and Emmitt Smith's Emmitt Smith. He's not Tony Dorsett. Troy Aikman's Troy Aikman. He's not Roger Staubach. And just to enjoy people for what they are now and not try to compare them to somebody else.
Do you think of them as America's team?
Really, I just feel like the Cowboys are kind of like maybe the New York Yankees.
Hope he means the 1927 Yankees and not the current crop. The Cowboys' success on the field is mirrored off the field as well. Sales of NFL property items, shirts, towels, other goodies tell the tale. The one-time merchandising leader fell on hard times, but now they're almost tied with the Raiders.
And we have a highly styled tie. Very avant-garde, very hot, very chic, very new.
NFL Films popularized the nickname in 1978, and now with an enormous following on the road, America's team is back, much to some people's dismay.
If there was an America team, it would have been the Pittsburgh Steelers because they won all the Super Bowls. San Francisco would be an America team, not Dallas. Dallas ain't win very many Super Bowls to be an America team.
Maybe so, Andre, but right now the whole country's gone country. And what's more country than a cowboy? These Cowboys don't have Super Bowl aspirations, they have Super Bowl expectations. Jerry Jones told me you don't pay $140 million for something unless you want to see it through. Jerry Jones is from Arkansas, and Greg, as you found out, the Cowboys enjoy the support of another Razorback.
Yeah, he's coming right up. By the way, this show went country long before America did.
Not our Cowboys.
Boxcar Willie.
When we come back, we'll hear from the man who will soon be heading up the real America's team, President-elect Bill Clinton. It's an NFL Today exclusive interview we will share with you in just a moment. Well, less than 2 months from now, Bill Clinton will travel to Washington and become the 42nd President of the United States. Yesterday, the President-elect invited the NFL Today into the governor's mansion in Little Rock for a visit. The 20th and then the NFC Championship. Congratulations to you, first of all. And thank you for taking this time. How busy are your days these days? I mean, how much time do you have to yourself?
Not much time. I try to take off Saturday morning and play golf, just to give myself that since I didn't get to do it during the election. And then I try to go run every morning. And then Sunday morning, my family and I keep to ourselves. And then after church, I normally am starting back to work now, just because there's so much to be done between now and the inauguration.
During the campaign, we saw you throwing a football around. Was that ever a goal for you growing up?
I always loved football, but I was in the band when I was a kid growing up. But, in our state, everybody played football. I mean, didn't matter whether you played on the football team or not. Everybody played football. Touch football was the staple game of my childhood, and I still play it sometimes. I got a letter yesterday from a guy I went to grade school with who asked if we were going to have a touch football game on the White House lawn.
We were just talking a moment ago that you took in the Bears-Giants game in Chicago at Soldier Field.
Believe it or not, I had never seen an NFL game in person until I ran for president.
Is it right Mrs. Clinton is a Bears fan?
Yeah, my wife is an ardent Bears fan, and she has two brothers who now live in
Miami, but they all grew up in Chicago, and they love the Bears and the Cubs.
Which means they're not having a real good year this year.
They're not having a good year this year, but, you know, I keep reminding them that football's not like politics. You get to run again next year. So, you know, they'll come back.
Are you allowed to be a fan of a particular team, or do you have to be every fan for every team?
Well, I don't know. I've never been president before, so I don't know what my new role is. I enjoy watching the Redskins play, so I guess I'll be able to go to some of the games. I hope I will in Washington. And, you know, most of us here in Arkansas follow the Cowboys closely. That's our nearest team. And now that the Cowboys are owned by a guy from Arkansas, we've taken some pleasure in their victories. But I confess that since Hillary and I have been together, I've always pretty well pulled for the Bears, too.
Yeah, any particular favorites around the NFL? Because you said that on Sundays it's a ritual for you to watch football.
Now, you know, most of the time I pull for teams that have players I know in them. Like, I'm just thrilled for Pittsburgh's success because Barry Foster played at Arkansas, and he did a real good job for us here.
Yeah.
And I follow the Dolphins a little more closely now since Keith Jackson went down there because he played at Oklahoma, but he's from Little Rock, so I know Keith. And very often my interest in it has more to do with the fact whether I know the players or not.
Richard Nixon once sent in a play to George Allen. Do you see yourself forcing your position on any coaches out there?
No. The only thing about that is, you know, is the president, everybody likes to second guess the president. So it's really fun to sit there and call plays because a football coach or a basketball coach, they're about the only people that a president can second guess. So, but I'm not going to do it to them. I may do it kind of in the privacy of a room when I'm watching a game with my friends, but I don't expect to send any plays unless I'm invited to.
Because the economy was such an issue in the campaign, I want to ask you your feelings on the skyrocketing costs of sporting events. Does it fall under your area of concern that something that most of us grew up thinking was a diversion from the everyday problems of life is now something that may not be affordable to a lot of people?
Yeah, it bothers me. When I see the prices of football or baseball or basketball games put out of the range of ordinary people, that concerns me because, you know, for a lot of us in America who just are raised on sports, there are a lot of people who can't afford to take a vacation in the summertime anymore. And most Americans are literally working harder for less money than they had 10 years ago. So if they live in the vicinity of a professional team, the idea of going to one of those games is a big deal to them.
How many times a day are you asked who's going to be in your cabinet? How many times a day?
Every time I go out, the press asks me. And I will, you know, I'm going slow on this because I know I like to pick a good team, and I really believe in teamwork. And this is sort of like recruiting for a coach, you know. But once you put the team together, it's not like you can take 44 football players out there and you just have to play 11 at a time. I mean, you've got a team and there's no substitutions. Yeah. So I'm trying to do a good job.
Can I recommend Terry Bradshaw for Secretary of Offense?
I think he'd be pretty good.
You don't want to rethink that?
No, I think he'd be pretty good at it. And, well, you know, he's from my part of the country, too.
Yep.
If I could have done what he did, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today.
Exactly right.
You know, all politicians are frustrated athletes. We didn't quite make it, so we had to find another way.
Let me ask you, what do you remember about Thanksgiving Day growing up?
I remember, best of all, I had a friend in grade school who had a very difficult childhood. He was an only child, lived with his mother. His mother was married 6 or 7 times. They had a very modest means, and I remember that I saw him one Thanksgiving morning with a bag of Fritos, and he said it was his Thanksgiving, and so I brought him home with me, and my mother invited him to stay with us for lunch. I've never forgotten that. That's one of the best things I know about my mother, and I think that Thanksgiving ought to be a time when those of us who have anything are grateful and sensitive to those of us who have nothing. So that's what I remember about it.
How will Thanksgiving Day be here?
My family has a lot to be grateful for. The people of this state have been very good to me, and the people of this nation have given me a chance to try to lead us to a better day, and I feel great gratitude. If ever anybody ought to be giving thanks tomorrow, it should be Bill Clinton and his family, and we will be.
you've honored us with your presence on our Thanksgiving Day show. We thought we'd give you a chance, if you'd like to share a Thanksgiving Day message with all these football viewers. So feel free to do so, by all means.
Well, thank you. I want to say to all of you out there, I've spent a lot of Thanksgiving days watching football games, and I hope you enjoy it very much. I appreciate the opportunity I've had to be on this show, but I ask you, too, to remember that this is a day when all of us as Americans are to be grateful for what we have and to think about those who don't have enough just to get by. I hope that I can bring us all together and we can find a way so that each Thanksgiving from now on, more of us will have more to be thankful for.
And the President-elect said that he and Mrs. Clinton would be sitting at home and watching this afternoon, and I want to take the opportunity to thank them again for their very kind hospitality down in Little Rock yesterday. Now, on to today's game. The Cowboys and the New York Giants, and a rookie quarterback having to go down to Dallas and start for the Giants.
Very important today, right off the bat. If the Giants can't run Hampton and control the ball running, then they're in a lot of trouble. I think the Cowboys will blitz him early if they get the chance and really rattle him, shake him up, and get him out of his rhythm. Don't let him get settled.
You saw that defense up close last week.
Well, I defer to our new Secretary of Offense, but defensively, the Giants have got to put pressure on Aikman. They've been too inconsistent. They've got to get to him.
Anybody taking the Giants in this game today?
Talking about second-guessing the president. Has anybody ever second-guessed Terry Bradshaw?
All the time. We'll be back at halftime with Pat's special Thanksgiving Day edition around the NFL today, and we'll see you then. And coming up next, Pat and John with the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. We hope you enjoy the game. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. Take it away, guys.
The fortunes of a football team can turn in a snap. 3 years ago, the Dallas Cowboys hit rock bottom. 2 years ago, the New York Giants were on top of the world. But in the blink of an eye, America's team has risen while the Giants have fallen. Everyone likes taking a shot at the champion. And now it turns out that even Superman has an Achilles heel. Who knows if we'll ever hear his mighty roar again?
And we both know how it can change. And it's hard to hold a candle in the cold November rain.
Although this has become the winter of the Giants' discontent, to find inspiration that the rains will someday stop, all they need to do is look at the Cowboys. Today with a rookie quarterback.
Of course, Jeff Hostetler is out, Phil Simms is out, and they're starting with Kent Graham, not only a rookie, Pat, but he was an 8th-round draft choice who really didn't play much in college. And we talked to him last night, and he said, I'm really excited about this. I'm trying to stay calm. Maybe the best thing I have going is that it's a short week, and I don't have a lot of time to think about it.
On the other side of the field, the Cowboys with one of the best records in pro football, certainly one of the best teams in pro football, a lot of weapons they keep talking about, but for the last 2 weeks, they've been rather quiet.
Well, I think, you think of Michael Irvin and you think of Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman. They're the big three, and they all know that they have to get something to the other guys and get some of that pressure off of Smith and Irvin because everyone is ganging up on those two guys.
The weather on on the cool side with the wind chill factor. It feels like it's down about 17. Meggett and Joey Smith back deep for the Giants. Elliott to kick off for Dallas. Deep to Meggett where he will down it. The Giants will open from their own 20 with Kent Graham, the rookie, at quarterback. Only his 12th start ever. Up front, a solid offensive line. Elliott, Roberts, Oates, Moore, and Riesenberg. The tight end, Howard Cross. Hampton and Bunch, the two runners. McCaffrey and Baker, the wide receivers. 1st and 10th for the rookie, Kent Graham. Those are his numbers at Ohio State. Bunch and Hampton. By Norton and brought down by the rest of the Dallas defense. And it's a solid unit. Front four, Haley, starting after sitting out a week. Maryland, Casillas, and Tolbert. Linebackers, Norton, Jones in the middle, and Benson Smith. In the secondary, Smith and Brown, the corners. Horton coming off injury, starting with James Washington as the two safety men. 2nd and 10. And Tolbert pressured Graham.
Yeah, Tony Tolbert, number 92, was right at Graham's feet, and he really couldn't follow through on that one. When we talked to the Cowboys yesterday on defense, they wanted to do two things. One, they felt they had to stop Rodney Hampton, because they feel if there's anyone that can control the ball on him, it's Rodney Hampton. And then the other thing they had to do was put a lot of pressure on Kent Graham, a rookie quarterback, and give him a lot of different looks.
Meggett in the backfield now with 3 wide receivers and Graham out of the spread.
Most people blitz when Meggett is in there and make him block and stay in.
He got out cleanly that time. Pass complete across. Looks like it's about a yard shy of that first down as Norton pinned him quickly.
You know, it is going to be shy, but the one thing that Kent Graham has to feel pretty good about, again, is he was trying to stay relaxed and, you know, wanted to throw something, but he has to feel confident in that one, that he got a 3rd down when he's going to get his biggest rush, and he had time, and he threw the ball, and he put a zip on it.
Joe Prokop will do the punting. Landetta out with an injury for the Giants. Kelvin Martin back deep for Dallas.
Prokop is a left-footed punter, and if a return man doesn't know that, that could cause some problem. So can that.
Cowboys jump offside. It was Norton, and that, of course, will be enough for a 1st down Giants.
Right, and the Giant offense is coming back on the field. You know, I think that this is the kind of start that Kent Graham needed. He needed some of these things, you know.
Encroachment, defense.
Get a pass, get a 1st down. What Jimmy Johnson is yelling about, he's saying at the center, move the ball. He's saying that he snapped it, that he started to move it and jerked up. You know, he's saying, you see, he looked up, but he didn't move the ball. The center can do that. That's okay. I think Jimmy Johnson was wrong on that.
I hope his turkey dinner is settled.
Or he hasn't put it in there yet.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
1st and 10 Giants at their own 34. This is Hampton. Cowboy defensive unit led by Robert Jones there in a hurry.
I think that's, you know, we talk about what teams want to do going in. The Giants want to run Rodney Hampton. They want to shorten the game. They want to keep the Cowboy offense off the field. Then if they can get Rodney Hampton going, then they can go some play passes. And like I've always said, the best friend of a quarterback is a good running game.
And especially in this case with the rookie. Jared Bunch is set up outside Jumbo Elliott to the left. Hampton again gets the carry, throws it back to Graham. Wide open is at McCaffrey. Washington knocked him out of bounds, but a gain of 44.
And I think that Ken Graham already has Phil Simms' moves. He said that Phil Simms has been a mentor for him, and he looks like he has some of his enthusiasm. Again, he has a real zipping arm. He has a real strong arm. He took a little off of that one to McCaffrey. The play pass, the flea flicker, held everyone, caught him up, and Ed McCaffrey was able to get in there behind him. And this is a quarterback that had a little confidence coming in, but is gaining confidence with each play.
1st and 10 at the 19. That's Hampton hit in the backfield, got away from Casillas, is stopped by Tolbert. Russell Maryland with an assist.
By running Hampton and with Hampton gaining a little yardage, then they're able to do things like that flea flicker. They see Graham hand off to Hampton, and then he stops and turns back. But as Hampton comes into the line of scrimmage, all the linebackers and even the secondary started to converge on him.
That's why that flea flicker works so well. Baker wide right, McCaffrey to the left. 2nd down and 10. No score yet. Hampton to about the Cowboy 12, stopped by Washington and by Ray Horton.
Yeah, if you just watch here, he's going to run to the left, and again, they know that he's coming. Bunch is pointing out there to the left. You see Bunch, he's looking out there and say, let's try it on this side. He gets a pretty good turn out there, and they get a pretty good hole on that side. Looked like Bunch was saying, I'm going to block him out. I already knew they were going to the left. Looked like he was saying, I can kick that guy out, and Hampton just ran inside him.
Got a good block from Moore. Here's Graham, flag on the play. Pass is complete to Meggett. And he probably wishes it wasn't. Kenneth Gant.
But it may not make any difference, Pat, because I think Charles Haley jumped off sides or got into that neutral zone. That was a free play for the Giants.
False start on the center. Prior to the snap.
Oh, that was the one Jimmy Johnson was complaining about before. Now here it is. Now what we're watching is the center right here, and they're saying that he moved the ball, that the false start is on him. And you see what he did? He moved his head that time. Watch his head. Watch him. You see, he gives him the head bob, that hard count, so they called it on him. So that's on Bart out. So I think what Jimmy Johnson was saying on the punt, they did the same thing. They didn't call it on the punt, but they called it on that play. Bart Oates is one of those 8-year veterans who's a lawyer, and you don't know what to expect when you get a center who's a lawyer.
Graham had it through Baker's hand. He had it there, too.
Well, that was a perfect throw, and that was against double coverage. Baker ran right through double coverage, and Kent Graham throws a perfect pass to him. Again, we tell you that this guy has a strong arm. I mean, he puts something on there. He zips that thing right through 2 defenders, right into Stephen Baker's hand. He has to catch that pass. That's a touchdown.
Well, they compared him. Here's Matt Barr. And let's see, it's Steve Diassi. Graham stays in to hold. Diassi, who was questionable, is the snapper. Barr. Field goal no good. So the Giants get down in striking range, but don't strike. Nothing score. .56 left to play in the first quarter. Troy Aikman will quarterback Dallas. A good offensive line in front of him. Tuine, Newton, Stepnoski, Giesick, and Williams. Jay Novacek, the tight end. Emmett Smith and Darrell Johnston, the 2 runners. Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper, the wide receiver. A solid, good offensive unit. Against the Giants. This is Emmett Smith. To the line of scrimmage and nothing more. Ed Reynolds made the stop. Let's look at the Giants defense. Marshall, Howard, and Dorsey, the front 3. Miller, Reynolds, Pepper, Johnson, and Carl Banks. Collins and Williams, the cornerbacks. McGriggs and Jackson, the two safeties. 2nd and 10. Harper and Irvin this time both set wide to the right. Harper is the man in motion. Banks jumped into the backfield. And the referee, Johnny Greer, will let us know what happened.
Offside, 58, defense. Still second down. Well, Banks must have thought that he saw something that didn't happen. We had so much trouble on the first thing with the Giants when they had the ball and Oates moving or not moving the ball. Banks thought he saw something there, and he just ran in the backfield.
2nd and 5. Cowboys at their own 25. Aikman to throw his first pass. Outside to Emmitt Smith. He caught 12 last week against Phoenix. Mark Collins made the stop.
You know, Troy Aikman hurt his finger last week, and you can see it right here. It's a finger on his passing hand right there, and what happened is a bunch of blood came in there, so they had to drill it. You see that spot right in the middle? He has that dark spot and the white spot in the middle. They had to drill in there to relieve the blood and fluid on there, and he was saying before the game that it's still a little tender.
Did you see that other finger, the index finger? It looked like it needed a road sign.
And you wonder how these guys grip and throw the ball, but he didn't even practice on Monday. He didn't throw it all on Monday. He practiced on Tuesday and Wednesday. He's kind of tender today.
Complete to Irvin. That'll be enough for a first down. Another flag on the play. Instruction session going on.
Well, those are the two giant quarterbacks now. Kent Graham, of course, we know he's the starter. Dave Brown is the guy on the other side. He's also a rookie. He was the supplemental #1 draft choice. So Jeff Hostetler, had a concussion last week, didn't even make the trip. Phil Simms is here, of course, not active on IR.
Illegal hands to the face. 74, defense. It's declined.
Eric Howard. There's Phil Simms now in that huddle. Both those two guys, those two rookie quarterbacks are big guys. 6'5", 215 or thereabouts.
And you look, the starter was drafted in the 8th round, kind of an afterthought. They're looking at all the pictures of the defenses, the down, the distance. The other one was drafted #1, and the 8th round draft choice is a starter. Of course, he was in training camp.
On first down, Emmitt Smith. Stopped by Eric Dorsey, who has always played the run well.
Getting back to Troy Aikman, what they did is they tried to numb it, and they wanted to numb the top of the finger and then keep the bottom of the finger unnumb, and they couldn't do it. So he said he just has to go with no numbness on that finger. And the thing where it gives him a problem is every time he throws the ball, the last thing the ball comes off is that middle finger.
It also bothers him when he hands off with his right hand. In any case, he's playing. He's a tough guy. Daryl Johnston. Outside the 35, a pickup of 11. Stopped by Pepper Johnson, but it's a Dallas first down.
Norv Turner is the offensive coordinator of this Dallas Cowboy team, and I think where he has really helped Troy Aikman is one, getting back, setting up quickly, reading quickly, and getting to any receiver that's open and making them spread out the ball. We know about Emmitt Smith. We know about Michael Irvin, but he can also get the ball quickly to his tight end, Jay Novacek, or in that case, to his fullback, Daryl Johnston.
They're all good receivers.
They can hurt you in any number of ways.
Aikman again. To Michael Irvin, who really took a jolt from Greg Jackson, but hung on. A gain of 20.
One thing about Michael Irvin, and everyone will tell you this, he is one tough receiver. In fact, he's looking to see if he has everything in there. But the Giants were even saying that, after he does this and you do this to him, he said he'll always bounce back up, go back to the huddle, and hard hits do not have a negative effect on Michael Irvin.
He heads for the sideline for his regular checkup.
Well, he could have had, something there because he got that right in the face.
Yeah.
That could have been something that went through his face.
This is Emmett Smith. Emmett not able to find much room. Stopped by Collins again, a gain of 1. Carl Banks up to help Collins.
Emmett says this is a fun year, but it's also been a frustrating year for him because every team is using 8 men up against him to stop the run.
And he was saying to us yesterday, Emmett was, look at Michael Irvin and what he has accomplished so far in '92, that after missing training camp. But Emmett was saying he doesn't feel that they played their best offensive game yet. Split wide left is Darrell Johnson, inside him, Kelvin Martin. And Aikman to throw it. The pocket is Aikman. Out of bounds, perhaps gave up a yard rather than take on Carl Banks. That'll bring up 3rd and 11. Texas Stadium, unique with that hole in the roof. Troy Aikman was saying to us yesterday, everybody, when it comes to a game, one thing good about it, you don't feel the wind because it's all sort of blocked off, but the only people that get wet if it rains are the players.
And he said it's a tough place to throw in, especially when the sun is out because of the shadows in the stadium.
Aikman gets it out to Smith. Inside the 30 to about the 27, a gain of 8. Banks and Johnson. Trip Emmett up. And on will come the Cowboy field goal unit. The offensive line of the Giants getting ready to go back to work.
And they did a pretty good job on that first drive because they have a rookie quarterback starting, and the first thing you want is for him to get off to a good start and not get up looking out his ear hole after he throws his first pass. Lynn offensive line helped him.
Lynn Elliott with Steve Berline holding from 45 yards out. Good snap, perfect kick. Cowboys lead 3-0. 3 minutes and 22 seconds left to play in the first quarter. 3-0 Dallas.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Miller Lite, an official sponsor of the NFL and Super Bowl 27. And by Norelco patented lift and cut shavers.
Elliott, who just hit that 45-yard field goal, set to kick off. Joey Smith is 88. Dave Meggett back there with him for the Giants. Smith. He's out of the pack. Taken down by Larry Brown. Almost broke it. Happy Thanksgiving. 3-0 Dallas.
You are watching the National Football League on CBS Sports.
Joining us today in Dallas is the airship Shamu, the SeaWorld blimp. Shamu represents SeaWorld Marine Life Parks in Florida, California, Ohio, and Texas. SeaWorld is a world leader in marine life conservation, research, and education programs. They have a wonderful seat looking at Texas Stadium. 3-0, the Cowboys lead. Giant ball at their own 38. Flag on the play.
I think that was one of those plays, Pat, where the whistle blew before the ball was snapped, so it doesn't count.
False start. Right tackle, offense. Prior to the snap. Still first down.
Doug Riesenberg is the right tackle.
You know, one thing when you get a new quarterback like Kent Graham, and we were talking to Jumbo Elliott about it last night, you get a different voice, obviously, but the other thing you get is a different rhythm in the cadence, in the count. And he says Kent Graham's count is slower than either Hostetler's or Sims was. So maybe that's why, you know, Riesenberg, I'm not making an excuse for him, but it's a different cadence that all these guys have to listen to, too.
On the good side, he said it was louder. Back to throw it is Graham. Down and up. James Washington zeroed in.
Tell you one thing, those safeties are zeroing in on those ends. You know, we saw Michael Irvin get one on this side. Now watch Ed McCaffrey get one on this side. But the good thing about it is Kent Graham really has to be feeling good about being able to find the open guy and get it to him.
Every pass he's thrown, with the exception of the first one, has been just about perfect.
The other thing he has to feel good about is his pass protection.
See what they do to make it this time. He's the lone setback. Now he comes. By Colbert. Tony Colbert. As Graham looked up, Haley flushed him out.
Yeah, and Haley will. Watch Haley. He's here. He's going to come here in a stun, and he'll be the first guy that breaks a pocket. That's one thing about number 94, Charles Haley. When he comes in, he causes havoc. See, he was the first guy that got any movement there, and then Tony Colbert came off his block, and he ended up with a sack.
3rd and 29, a loss of 14. Callaway rides right, McCaffrey and Baker to the left. Back to throw is Graham. Haley reaching at him. That one saw just the carpet.
Well, the pass protection was good, but it broke down in the last two plays. We saw Haley come on a stunt before. Now we see a stunt in the middle. Haley just pushing Jumbo Elliott back, taking a swing and a swipe, but Graham was still able to step up and throw the ball.
Prokop in to punt it. Left-footed, as John Madden said earlier, when he didn't get a chance to punt. This is not bad. Kelvin Martin. Very dangerous. Gets into Giant territory. They'll start there. 1st and 10. The Cowboys will. At the Giant 48. 44-yard punt. Happy Thanksgiving. Looks happy.
I'll tell you can't beat this, Pat. Thanksgiving, turkey, music, football, crisp day, good day for hitting.
3-0 Dallas leads. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Texas Stadium. Michael Irvin with wide left. Harper to the right, Aikman to throw. More and more he's attempting to throw on 1st down. Dorsey got the hand up to bat Aikman's pass down, intended for Smith.
I think they're trying to get the pressure off Smith in the running game and, you know, run some on 1st down and loosen that defense up. Emmitt Smith said last week, you know, he's gained over 1,000 yards, and he started running a couple against the Cardinals, and it was all negative yardage. He thought he was going to be the first guy in the history of the game to gain over 1,000 yards in mid-season and be under 1,000 at the end of the season.
And it's Smith. Not much there. Stopped by Corey Miller. Aikman's 5 out of 6. It doesn't look like much. That's 5 yards for Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, and I think with a guy like Emmitt Smith, you just have to keep running him. I mean, if he doesn't get anything or gets negative yardage early in the game, you just keep pounding him in there. I know he'll say, what do you mean keep pounding me in there? But I think you just keep running him and running him and running him, and he's going to make things happen, and he's going to have big plays because he's one of the best running backs in this game.
Very, very quick.
Now, I'll tell you, Mark Collins just came running off the field here, Pat, taking a timeout.
Number one.
And he ran right towards Rod Rust. That's Rod Rust, the defensive coordinator there. And he just started running right towards Rust.
I think they had 12 men on the field. That's a giant timeout. So they have 2 left.
You know, if you just look, I think you're right, Pat. If we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then if you look right here at Mark Collins, he got his hands out. He's going, what the heck? That's too many guys.
It's okay if they let us get away with it.
Yeah, it's not a bad way to play, but he wanted to play fair. He said, look, it's Thanksgiving Day. Let's play fair. We're supposed to have 11. Let's take a timeout and just get 11 out here.
You really think that's what he said?
No, I think that's one of the problems. You know, and one of the problems that the Giants have had this year, to me, is discipline or lack of discipline. And to me, that's a lack of discipline.
3rd and 5. Aikman quickly. Michael Irvin made the reception. Should be enough for another Dallas first down. A pickup of 7, stopped by McGriggs and Pepper Johnson.
Yeah, we talked about Michael Irvin. We saw that hit that he took earlier by Greg Jackson, and here he comes right back in the middle again. I mean, this guy is what you have to be. You have to be fearless. There's some guys that just like to stay in the outside and run the out and runs the up, but the great ones go inside and they go in with the same intensity that they run those outs and those ups.
So it's first down, Dallas. Flag on the play. It's Emmett Smith. 10 this time. Stopped by Pepper Johnson and McGriggs again.
Yeah, it looked like one of those free plays because Leonard Marshall, I think, jumped off sides, Pat. And then Emmett Smith just ran right around Marshall. That was a double dip. Yeah, I mean, he jumps off sides. Now, if you're going to jump off sides, go tackle the guy. But Leonard just looked like he just took a couple steps out there like a walk in the park, and Emmett Smith went right around him.
Left defensive end. It's declined. First down.
See, you watch. Here's Leonard Marshall there. I think that he's going to move, and then now, but that's okay. If you move, you still got to play. Now take that guy on square, go right down the line, and you have to make a play. You have to cut him off at the pass there. Of course, he needs some help from that corner out there. I mean, he needs some support in that linebacker out there, too. You can't blame the end for that.
Aikman to throw it on first down. He is cut down at the 20 by Greg Jackson. A pickup of 6. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. Dallas 3. The Giants nothing. There's a guy who, over the years, when you talk about special teams and guys who covered kicks and threw their body wherever was necessary, Bill Bates. What a competitor.
You know, and tough guys and guys who were fun to watch. He just had surgery on that left knee, and you say he was such a great competitor, never relied on speed anyway, and is probably a guy that can come back off that kind of surgery.
They need more for a first. Smith's got that. Greg Jackson made the tackle again.
What they do is that's Curvin Richards in now for Emmett Smith. I think they're trying to get Curvin Richards in that second quarter so that they can run him some, give Emmett Smith a little rest so that they can bring him back in the third and fourth quarter. Remember that game that we did against the Eagles where it looked like they just ran Emmett Smith to death? I think since that time, they're trying to get Curvin Richards into the game more earlier. Smith has a bruised right hand.
Right. Richards again. He is not Emmett Smith. There are very few, but this guy has as Jimmy Johnson says, can make a move to change.
Yeah, and he's something that Jimmy Johnson and the whole Cowboy offense have confidence in. I mean, when you put a young guy like that in, you want to be sure that he can handle the ball. Although knowing Emmitt Smith, you can see that they're working on his right hand. I think as they get closer to the goal line, he's going to want to get in there to carry the ball in for the score. I would be surprised if he doesn't get in on this series.
2nd and 9. Novacek, the move. Aikman, outside. He might have lost a little ground.
Yeah, they started throwing that pass, that little loop out there to the running backs, and I think they did it too much last week against the Phoenix Cardinals, and now they're doing it now. And if you don't get that ball out there and have a poor tackling team, you're going to end up with nothing. But one thing the Giants are doing, they're tackling well. You know, Greg Jackson's made some big tackles. That was Lamar McGriggs. As I said, I didn't think Emmitt Smith would stay out very long when the Cowboys are this close to the goal line.
Emmitt is back, 3rd and 11. Cowboys leading by 3. They have it at the Giant 15. Aikman back to throw. Incomplete. Intended for Harper. Covered by Collins. And Jimmy Johnson sends the field goal unit on again.
That was good coverage there by Mark Collins, because it was a one-on-one situation down there in the goal line. They were just going to run a pattern there to Alvin Harper, and Mark Collins was all over him. There was no place to throw that one. That was good coverage.
Elliott hit once from 45 yards. This one from 32 to add to his record. 4 consecutive field goals, and he does. And it's 6-0 with 12:39 left to play in the first half. More than that for him.
This game summary is sponsored by Kodak Photo CD System.
Aikman 8 out of 10, 58 yards. Elliott 11 straight field goals now, Cowboys record. And Dallas has had pretty much things their own way, except on the scoreboard. They've had the ball 11 minutes and 6 seconds. 6 points.
When you see that Aikman 8 out of 10, you say, well, that finger doesn't seem to be bothering him much, but he hasn't been able to get the ball into the end zone.
Elliott's kickoff. That's Joey Smith on about a yard deep in the end zone. Doesn't make it back now. He does to the 20. Kenneth Gant down to make the stop.
Joey Smith almost made a real bad decision there, man.
Yeah,
it looked like you either have to stay in that end zone or you have to bring it out. He looked like one of those tweeners, like, yeah, I'm going to, no, I'm not. And he started out and tried to stop and then brought it out again. I think for his sake, he's lucky that he got it back to the 20.
6-0 Dallas. Giants take over at their own 20.
Like a lot of communicating going down there on that bench between the players and coaches.
Graham dropped the snap from center. Picked it up himself. He might have dropped it again. Dallas indicating they have it. The Giants indicating they have it.
And we talked about Bardos, number 65, being the center lawyer. He's right there in the middle. He's pointing the other way. Ken Graham, the rookie quarterback, see the ball didn't get up there. He never got a handle on it. Then he tried to hand it off, and then smartly right there he said, I'm not going to hand it off. And then he finds out, uh-oh, bad things happen when you run the ball up the middle, and it gets knocked out. There's about 4 things that happened on that play.
Among them, he got 4 yards. This is Hampton. He might have gotten another 2 yards. Robert Jones, the middle linebacker.
Yeah, and the other guy in there, see number 67, Russell Maryland. He's starting to play well now. Remember a year ago he was a number 1 draft choice, and then this year he dislocated a toe, and he couldn't push off that left foot. He said, you don't think that's ugly? He said, you take your shoe and sock off, and you got your toe looking up at you? He says, you know you got a problem. And then for like a month he couldn't push off. Well, that's finally, the toe's back, straightened out, perpendicular, and he's finally able to push off again.
Just now. All because of a flag on the play. Outside, complete to Howard Cross. Darren Woodson was the Cowboy defender. No play.
Yeah, one thing you have to like about Kent Graham.
The center, number 65.
Again against Bart Oates.
Still third down.
You know, Jimmy Johnson is on Bart Oates on that. I think they got by with one, and then the next 2 times they call it on Oates. Now, let's just watch it here in the clicker. We'll see the head down, and what they're doing is they're calling the head bob. Now, I don't know that there's anything wrong with that. See, if that ball doesn't move, he's just moving his head there just a little. See right there, it's up, then he moves it a little. That's what they're calling on him, and boy, that is awfully picky.
3rd and 9. Graham back to throw again. Flag on the play again. 2 flags on the play. One at the line of scrimmage, one at the secondary. Howard Cross with the intended receiver again. Darren Woodson deflected it.
And the one in the secondary looks like it's going to be against the Cowboys. There was a double hit. The second hit was by Isaac Holt, and he really let him have it.
Johnny Greer.
Offsetting foul. Holding, 66, offense. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 30, defense. Will offset. 3rd down.
Yeah, that was Isaac Holt. You see, the ball goes down here. Cross misses the ball here. Now watch Holt come in, zero in there, and use his helmet as a weapon after the ball went past him. So I think they're starting to call that more and more. Not maybe a late hit, but more using your helmet as a weapon.
He never saw the ball. He saw the receiver. He wasn't ready. Graham wasn't ready. The ball went right by him. He was pointing to a receiver, and here comes the ball.
That's a tough thing. And it's a tough thing on having a rookie quarterback. The veteran center you see there talking it over. It's been a tough day so far for Bart Oates. But see, he's looking to his right, and then when he cocks that right leg, that means motion. He's trying to start his motion. Now he's trying to call something over to the left, and Bart Oates snapped the ball.
So standing back at the end line is Prokop. He only has about 11 yards. Normally it would be 15, but he got it out of there. Kelvin Martin cuts it back to about the 22. The Cowboys take over deep in Giant territory, tripped up by Lewis Tillman. 6-0 Dallas.
The Giants have had the, those things. I mean, they have 12 men in the field. They have to take a timeout. They get the quarterback, looking right, looking left. The ball snapped. It was snapped to his left when he wasn't ready. He recovers it, and they have to kick from the back line. And it was just when the wheels start to fall off, it's hard to keep the cart up.
They were kind of flat to begin with. This is Emmitt Smith. Down to the 15. Stopped by Lamar McGriggs. 7-yard gain. To the 15. I get the feeling that the safety men for the Giants are making far too many tackles.
Yeah, they look like they're making all of the tackles.
McGriggs involved on almost every stop along with Jackson.
Yeah, and then that makes you wonder where the linebackers are and the corner.
Novacek is a man in motion. Johnston, the ball carrier. Not much there for him. Carl Banks and Leonard Marshall.
Now you wonder about that play call. I mean, Johnston gets the ball about once per game, and why that once was down here in the red area, I have no idea. I mean, I think when you have Emmitt Smith, even if he's not healthy, you bring a Curvin Richards in, or you throw it to a Michael Irvin or something, but why Johnston would be your guy in that situation, I don't know.
I don't think he does either.
No.
3rd and 2.
I don't think Jimmy Johnson does.
outside, but he knocked him forward enough with the tackle to get a first down.
That was a good play by Banks, though. Number 58 is going to come all the way from the other side down the line. That's pretty good hustle. The minute that Emmitt Smith cuts back, Carl Banks is right there, although, as you say, it was a first down. But there has to be someone else there before Banks for that cutback, because Emmitt Smith doesn't have great speed. He doesn't take that ball outside a lot. He tries to threaten you outside and then cut it back.
He does have great quickness. Play by Banks would remind you of Lawrence Taylor. Here's Emmitt Smith again. Emmitt to the 5. Greg Jackson again made the stop.
I'll tell you, Leonard Marshall is really upset because he doesn't feel that he's getting the help out there from the linebacker or the corner. You see the linebacker, you see Perry Williams there, 23. He feels that he should have support, that those guys should be right up there. Corey Miller, number 57, is a linebacker outside him. He should have been up there in force, and then Perry Williams should have been the next guy up in force. And they're playing too soft outside of their defensive end.
Irvin split wide to the left. Emmitt Smith hit right at the line of scrimmage by Lamar McGriggs. A yard gain.
Yeah, you're right. And you see McGriggs make the tackle and Jackson give him 5 there. If it's not for these two guys, these two safeties here, I don't know that the Cowboys don't already have at least one touchdown. See the cutback, he starts in there. There's no cutback lane, and he has to run right into Lamar McGriggs. So far, these two giant safeties have been the most impressive part of their game.
3rd and 2. Smith is the deep back. Irvin goes wide right. And Smith takes the fake, and Aikman comes out of there with the football. Aikman will not get the first. McGriggs chased him out of bounds. He only got half of it.
Yeah, that doesn't work on 3rd down. That bootleg, you have to do that on a running down. When you do it on 3rd down, you see they're all staying at home for the bootleg. They're staying at home for the pass. McGriggs is in coverage, and then he sees Aikman run. Boom, he just comes up and cuts him off and doesn't let him get that first down.
4th and a yard. Kevin Gogan comes in. You saw him report to the referee, which means he'll be the other tight end and can catch a pass since reporting.
And you would imagine that they would run to that side.
You wouldn't imagine he'd catch a pass. They don't run to that side. That's Emmitt Smith. Emmitt struggles. Very close. Ed Reynolds led the Giant defense.
If Perry Williams, number 23, made that tackle, that wouldn't have been a first down. It may not be anyway, but Emmitt Smith knocked him back and really finished that run off. Perry Williams, number 23, didn't finish it off.
They don't get it.
But today they're going to run. This is the area that they're taking. They're taking on the linebacker and corner on that side. Watch that battle right there. See, Emmitt Smith wins it, but he still doesn't get the first down.
Reynolds from behind. Stop the first down. From behind.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, if you look here at Emmitt Smith, he's going to come, and it's on 4th down. Now, he has to get to this hash mark, and if we look right now when his knee goes down, it's where the ball is now. You come right here, he had to get to this hash mark here, and he didn't do it. So that was a good spot by the official.
Score remains 6-0 Dallas. The Giants hold. Now the Cowboys hold. Garrett Bunch, the ball carrier, stopped by Washington and some other guys in white.
The Cowboys have had their opportunities, and they sure haven't done much with it. And I think that's the thing that's starting to worry the Cowboys and Jimmy Johnson a little, that they really, in the last few weeks, they lost to the Rams. They really struggled last week against the Cardinals. They have the best record in football, they and the 49ers, but they're not really playing their best football. I mean, when you get down there, you've got to get that thing in there if you're a top team.
2nd down and 10. That's from others.
The other thing you think about this Cowboy team, and it's a couple of ingredients that always don't go well together. One is they have the best record in the NFC, but they also have the youngest team. And so that's the thing that is always bothering their staff. You know, are we too young to handle all this success? And you always have to fight that they don't start thinking that they're better than they are.
Third down. And about 6. Hampton. Yeah, he didn't get the 6. About a yard shy. Remember early in the year, the Cowboys just came out of the tunnel and swarmed on you. They jumped out ahead early. They haven't been doing that.
Well, remember against the Giants, they did that. They in Giant Stadium there, they came out there and they got way ahead of them. Although they almost let the Giants come back and beat them at the end of the game. But neither of these teams. I mean, the Cowboys aren't playing like they did in the first half of that last game, and obviously the Giants aren't playing like they did in the second half of that game.
Kelvin Martin, one of the most dangerous punt returners in pro football. Back deep. Joe Prokop. Left-footed punt is high and short. Martin signals fair catch. Dallas will take over the Giant 42-yard line, 1st and 10. They lead 6-0 after a 30-yard punt by Prokop. Dallas 6, the Giants nothing. 3:52 left to play in the first half. Dallas' last 3 possessions. This time they'll start at the 41. They started once at the Giant 22 and got nothing. Started once at the Giant 48 and got 3. This time it's at the 41. Fake Smith. The protection is there for Aikman, and he's going to take off. A long slide.
I'll tell you, Pat, did Emmitt Smith make a block, though? You know, you think of these guys that are just runners and they're tailbacks. But I'll tell you, watch this guy here. He's going to fake like it's a running play, and then Pepper Johnson's going to come in, and they're going to have a collision right there. But after you go on a play fake, then you have to pick up the plugger because, watch it, boom! He just knocked him right down. And look at that passing lane that Aikman had to either throw or run in.
2nd and 4, nothing is there. Corey Miller. And Leonard Marshall shut it down on that side. No gain.
Well, that's what they finally needed, is a play over there from Corey Miller, because they were blocking Marshall and then attacking Corey Miller and the 4th guy, Perry Williams, and that's where they were making their yards. So if Miller doesn't come up with a play, he was going to get a big dose of running over there, which they've already had.
3rd and 4. Here comes Pepper Johnson. Blitz passes in the direction of Harper. He can't hang on. It's incomplete. Mark Collins was the defender who hit him.
And did you see Emmitt Smith again? He picked up Pepper Johnson on that same blitz. You know, you always think of him as a great runner, and you think a lot of great runners don't block. But I'll tell you, Emmitt Smith is one that does. What you're going to see, watch 52, Pepper Johnson go boom again right there. Emmitt Smith is there to put Pepper Johnson on his head. That's 2 out of 3 times.
This will be Elliott from 53 yards this time. Berline holding. He's going to get there. And it's good. Elliott is 3 for 3. That's his longest ever. And it's 9-0 Dallas. Elliott's kick to Megan. 5 yards deep in the end zone. And he downs it there.
Hey, you talk about a big day. You get this job on Thanksgiving Day, someone has to do it, but you get the job that after the Dallas Cowboys kick off, you get to run out there and pick up the tee, then bring it back. That credential's as big as the top half of them. I'll tell you, there is an exciting kid.
Big job, big shirt.
Yeah, that's a reward. He doesn't even need any turkey. Just go right for the dessert now. Go right to the pumpkin pie.
Meggett stays in with Graham, the quarterback. Meggett, the lone running back. McCaffrey in motion. Graham under pressure from Dallas. Throw out of bounds. He is down. When he let it go, a wave of Cowboys. Haley, Norton, and Casillas.
And there's a flag right there, too. I don't know if this is going to be roughing the passer or throwing the ball away to avoid the rush. That's what I think it is. But you talk about this wave. Here comes this wave. Graham just throws the ball away, and I think that's what they called, that he threw it away.
Intentional grounding, number 10 on the offense. That's
it's tough enough. It's tough enough. They've had 3 possessions, 3 and out. They were minus 29 in their last 3 possessions. The guy's a rookie. You have a wave of guys coming on you to hit you. Why not let him throw it away? That's one rule. With all the quarterback injuries and everything, that's one thing that I think they ought to let a guy do. What's the alternative? What is he supposed to do? Stand there and get smashed into the turf?
And look at the next quarterback. Hampton on the draw play, taken down by Russell Maryland. A gain of 2. Beleaguered Ray Hanley. It's been a tough year for Ray. Ticking down to the 2-minute warning, and we'll get it. Happy Thanksgiving Day. 9-0. Dallas lead as it has not been a happy Thanksgiving Day for the rookie quarterback of the Giants. 3rd and 26.
Yeah, the Cowboys haven't been able to score a touchdown yet, so just before the 2-minute warning, they took their first time out. What they want to do is stop the Giants here and then get the ball back again with good field position.
Eric Moore limped out, replaced by Bob Kratz, number 61. Graham backed up to the 3 on 3rd down. Going for the bundle and a flag on the play. Baker, the intended receiver. Brown.
Well, you know, they had Stephen Baker doubled on that, and you wonder why you have to foul him. Larry Brown was there. Ray Horton was there. They had 2 guys on him. Watch it double on him here. There's no need. You see Ray Brown, 24 there. He hit him. You can't hit him when the ball's in the air, and you can't hit him after 5 yards. And when you have coverage and a double like that, why hit him at all?
2 minutes left in the first half. Dallas 9, the Giants nothing. 1:58 left to play in the first half at Texas Stadium. And that is the Giants' first down since the opening drive.
Let me just fix this, Pat. Okay. Someone was in such a hurry to get going this morning. You know, they were from El Paso, and they probably had to drive in, and they forgot to put the K in Thanksgiving.
Well, they knew you'd straighten it out.
Yeah, well, you just whatever you see, you just got to straighten it out right on the move. You don't need to do anything.
Stephen Baker again. Any doubts about that young man's arm strength should be dispelled.
You know that he has that. I mean, the problem with Ken Graham, he just hasn't played. You know, he went to Notre Dame, and they were going to be a passing team there. In fact, Steve Berline was a senior just before he came in, and then they didn't pass. They went to an option thing, so he wanted to go to a passing school, so he went to Ohio State. And then they weren't really a passing team, so here's a passing quarterback in non-passing schools who never gets to play.
Somehow you just don't think of Ohio State as a passing school. McCaffrey, he lost it, and the Cowboys get it back. James Washington it up for Dallas. Kevin Smith knocked it loose from McCaffrey.
Hey, McCaffrey had that ball. He caught it, and I think he was trying to break away and trying to run and trying to get your balance. I think he opened it up for the rookie Kevin Smith to knock it out of there. Because this is a good throw. It's off a little play fake. Again, he makes a little dodge there. Shows that that run, that strong arm. Ball's thrown right in there to McCaffrey. Now watch him. As he starts to run, Smith just comes around the backside and knocks the ball out with his right hand. That was a pretty good move by Kevin Smith.
So Dallas takes over at their own 44.
Sometimes you try so hard to make something happen that you fumble the ball.
Aikman. Intercepted on the rebound by Renee Thompson.
I think that was good coverage there by Mark Collins. I think you're going to see Mark Collins out here, the corner, number 25. He's right there with him. As the ball comes, watch Collins. He's going to hit in there and knock the ball out. He got his right hand in there, whoop, knocked it out right into Renee Thompson, number 21. Mark Collins has been playing pretty well today. I mean, Thompson gets the interception, and he gets the congratulations, but Mark Collins made that play.
He should get the credit.
Yeah, he should, and the guy that he was covering is Michael Irvin, who's one of the top receivers in the game.
1st and 10 Giants. Kent Graham, the rookie quarterback. Rodney Hampton and Gerard Bunt behind him. 1:34 left to play in the first half. 9-0 Dallas. McCaffrey, the intended receiver, covered by Kevin Smith. Incomplete.
Yeah, one thing you think that, Kent Graham, we talked to him last night, we talked to him today, and he kept saying that he wants to just relax and, and all that stuff. He does look pretty relaxed. He looks pretty confident, and I like that. I mean, McCaffrey makes a play for him and then fumbles. And I think it's an old thing to come back, get the ball back to the guy, get him back in the game, don't let him sit and pout.
He's 3 out of 10, really, as you say. The only time he's played was as a spot starter in college, the only time regularly back in Wheaton High School. Outside to Megan. Megan stopped about 2 yards short of a first down by Darren Woodson. 7-yard gain.
One thing that you have to like is his poise in the pocket as you watch Kent Graham. I mean, he's looking, he's reading, he's audibleizing, and he comes back there and he's going to get pressure and he stands tall in there. And then he steps up and he throws it sideways, takes the hit. I'll give you, he can take a hit.
3rd and 3, that's Megan, who got away from Casillas and got enough for the first down. 6-yard pickup, timeout, Giants. They have one left. We have 51 seconds left here at Texas Stadium. Dallas leading 9-0.
Teach your children well.
Hey, buddy. You gonna do it alone this time?
Did slowly go by. Don't you ever ask them.
When the time comes for a man to choose his own brand of underwear, more men choose Fruit of the Loom than any other brand. The reason is simple. Comfort. Because that's what real men want. Fruit of the Loom. Clothes for the best of your life.
Coming up at the half, Greg, Terry, and Pat, that's O'Brien, around the NFL today and the holiday edition. Happy Thanksgiving. Here at Texas Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden.
Well, we have our turkey down there in the bus. I thank you for it. You got a smoked turkey with a whole bunch of old legs on it. We'll give a turkey leg award after the game, and then we'll eat the rest of the turkey on the way to California.
McCaffrey. Ken Norton made the stop. There's the turkey.
I don't know how you did it, but it took a while to get it. But look, here's a leg, 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 here's a leg.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, 6-legged turkey, man. That's something.
I had a good friend. The only thing I can tell you he was very hard to catch.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got this leg, with the back power, this leg with the middle power, this leg with the front power, and then you have, both sides going.
You should see him jump.
We go down the highway, and then that's like a turkey. That's like an 18-wheel turkey. That one. We can give legs to everyone. We can give turkey legs to old linemen and linebackers and nose tackles and everything today.
Nobody's ever turned one down. Meggett, who ducks under one tackler, finally stopped by Norton. They ducked under Norton, beg your pardon. 16 seconds left. Timeout Giants. That's their last.
And I think the Giants are probably going to think at halftime to get Meggett in the game more in the second half, because he's a guy that can change the pace. I mean, if the Giants have a playmaker, a guy that you have to worry about who can make a big play, they only got one of them, and it's this guy right here, Dave Meggett. And I think that's one of their offensive problems. As a defensive coordinator, you can go to sleep at night because they don't have any speed on the outside. They don't have any guys that you really have to worry about. And well, Meggett is the one guy.
They did have one on the other side of the ball on defense.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they had Lawrence Taylor. But offensive coordinators wouldn't sleep on Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor could be the greatest defensive player that ever played this game. But the Giants have never had that speed. That speed at the outside receivers or speed coming out of the backfield that makes you stay awake at night worrying about how you're going to defend.
One thing the Cowboys do have. Graham up in the pocket. Outside, complete, and out of bounds is Chris Callaway. 7-yard gain, 7 seconds left to play. Kevin Smith knocked him out.
Here's the new thing that we see now, Pat, where we see the linemen holding hands here. Now what happens is the guard can hear and see the ball, and then when the ball is snapped, he lets go with his outside hand, then the tackle knows that the ball snapped. So the tackle doesn't have to look inside any longer.
I'm glad there's a reason for it.
Me too.
From 42 yards out, Barr. And his field goal is good. Still 3 seconds left on the clock. It's Dallas 9, the Giants 3.
Yeah, I think the Giants probably could have gotten one more play in there or taken one more shot. But again, when you're down, you haven't scored a touchdown yet, and you're just down 9-0. You want to get something started, so it was probably a smart move to take the field goal then. I think the Giants have to feel good about going in at halftime just down 9-3, because most things that could go bad against them have gone bad the first half, and the Cowboys didn't take advantage of it.
And you think about not taking advantage, you think about the places they start, which we were talking about a minute ago. Once from the 22-yard line, once from the 41, Dallas I'm talking about, once from the 42, and they have 3 field goals. He doesn't like it.
No, and because he knows that by now, had they played well offensively, they could have put this game away. I mean, they could have, because the Giants would have been ready. The Giants are, having a tough time. They come in here, they have to travel the road, the whole thing. And if they would have hit him with 3 quick touchdowns, they got up like 21-0, he could have put the game away in the first half, and he didn't.
Willis will kick off. Barr, as I'm sure you probably know, was questionable because of an injured knee. He will not kick off. The Cowboys will just fall on it. Dixon Edwards. So that's the end of the first half with the score. The Cowboys 9.
The NFL Today Dockers Halftime Report is sponsored by Levi's Dockers. Nobody does color like Dockers.
Welcome back to our studio in New York, everyone, and once again, happy Thanksgiving to you. Greg Gumbel along with Terry Bradshaw and Pat O'Brien. Our halftime score, the Cowboys leading the New York Giants by a score of 9-3. Kudos to the Giant defense for what they've done so far, holding the Cowboys to 3 field goals. And how's the rookie quarterback, Ken Graham, doing for New York?
He hasn't done too badly. Graham really, with the bad field position, doesn't really have you don't use your offense. You're down to about 10% of what you can use. But the thing that really stuck out, Greg, was the fact that Cowboys had 5 possessions, 48, 22, and 41-yard line of the New York Giants, and only came away with 9 points. Barely 100 yards of offense in the first half by the Cowboys.
Giants still within striking distance, 9-3 at halftime. Earlier today at the Silverdome in Pontiac, the Detroit Lions fell to the Houston Oilers 24-21 on what was a very emotional day for the Lions and their fans, as Mike Utley, the injured Detroit Lion, was honored before and during the game. And the Barry Sanders out of the backfield from Eric Kramer.
Yes, it's a great call, Greg. Man for man inside the 10-yard line. You take a back like Sanders with quick feet, get him out there one-on-one, you should get a touchdown.
That gave Detroit a 21-17 lead, but Lorenzo White on the draw from 8 yards out with 1:17 to play gives the Oilers the victory, 24-21. Houston now 7-5 on the year. The Lions fall to 3-9. One college football game today, Southeastern Conference, second-ranked Alabama, a 17-0 winner over the Auburn Tigers in Auburn coach Pat Dye's final game in Auburn. Time now to turn to Pat O'Brien to take us around the NFL on this Thanksgiving Day.
Thank you. Today in our special holiday supplement, we want to offer thanks to those NFL players and alumni who give something back to their fans and communities.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside.
We begin with a program called NFL Fact, Football and Academics, a Championship Team.
Seattle Seahawks. What state is that?
Okay, when you got the answer right, then you win. You tied.
What do you want to be? Look right over here. What do you want to be?
I want to be a doctor when I grow up.
Yeah, because school is something that is very special. A lot of people have fought real long, real hard so that every young person has an opportunity to get a quality education.
Thank you, Reggie. Quality of life is what's on Chuck Long's mind. He works with emotionally impaired youngsters at the Children's Home of Detroit.
I wanted to go out and reach those types of kids that need a chance.
The quarterback's weekly visits have an effect on kids with long faces.
There's a lot of depressed kids here, but if you push the right buttons, you can find that happiness within them that wants to come out.
Thank you, Chuck. In Dallas, America's team adopted a school in honor of American Education Week. The Cowboys' pilgrimage gave students a Thanksgiving they'll never forget.
These kids are our future, and we have to take control. We have to get control of them again.
In Dallas, America's team adopted a school in honor of American Education Week. The Cowboys' pilgrimage gave students a Thanksgiving they'll never forget.
These kids are our future, and we have to take control. We have to get control of them again. I encourage everyone to get behind these kids right here and kids all across the country.
The Cowboys also donated 150 turkeys, thank you, fellas, and the Saints, who are looking after leukemia patient Prentice Thomas.
Normally we would wear pads on Wednesday, but because we just played Monday night, we one less day, so we got them just in soft.
Yeah, I know exactly how that is. We did that too. I love playing football. I love football. I love the game. I love everything about it.
For you, PT, stick it up in your room, okay?
Appreciate that.
15-year-old PT dreamed of meeting the Saints, and yesterday the Make-A-Wish Foundation made his wish come true. And here's wishing that the greatness not always be on the field. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Pat. A reminder for you, this Sunday is a doubleheader day of football here on CBS. In our early games, most of you will see the Redskins hosting the Cardinals in an NFC East matchup. And then in our doubleheader game, most of you will see the 49ers hosting the Eagles. And of course, it all begins at 12:30 Eastern Time with the NFL Today. This Sunday, we will answer the question, what happens when you mic a mic?
My God! Hey, Fred, move down! Move down! No! Frank and Ronnie! Frank, Ronnie! Me and you, Jimmy!
Of course, that's Chicago Bears linebacker Mike Singletary. We've wired him for sound in a special feature on this Sunday's edition of the NFL Today. Coming up, we'll send you back out to Big D for the second half with Pat Summerall and John Madden in the booth. after this word from your local station.
Halftime at Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys lead the Giants by the score of 9-3.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Keystone, Keystone Light, and Keystone Dry. Bottled beer taste in a can. Wouldn't that be great? And by the people at Nike, who encourage you to just do it.
Texas Stadium, Cowboys ahead 9-3 at the half, and the halftime statistics: first downs pretty even, rushing yards reasonably even. 9-3. Time of possession leans to the Cowboys, but really not too significant.
Yeah, well, they had the time of possession. They also had the great field position, and they didn't take advantage of it. Only had 4 field goals in this whole first half. You know, the Cowboys in the first half, again, only had 9 points, but they didn't even punt. So the Giants really haven't stopped them yet. The Cowboys have had good field position and stopped themselves.
Line drive kickoff will be handled by Martin at about the 4. Calvin Martin to the 30. Good return. 26-yard return. Derek Brown made the stop. This is what has happened to Troy Aikman.
You know, he's had pretty good protection. He's only been sacked 1 time. He hasn't been hurried or knocked down. He's had 1 batted ball and 1 interception. That was the good coverage by Mark Collins there just before the end of the half. But he's really been protected well. They haven't been able to open the offense up, or they haven't been able to get Emmitt Smith running yet.
First and 10. Aikman will throw on first down to Emmitt Smith. Placed by Banks and down by Banks and Collins. Just to emphasize what you were talking about, their field position, Dallas.
You look at you know, they started on the 48, the 22, the 41, and then their own 44. And again, they just come out with 3 field goals. You know, both teams look to me a little lethargic. I mean, it doesn't look like they're crisp, like they're ready to go. I mean, I know about short weeks and all that stuff, but doggone, it's tradition, it's Thanksgiving, and it looks like they're kind of a half a step slow, kind of going through the motions in that first half.
Second down. Aikman again to Smith. Smith stiff-armed McGriggs, but he couldn't stay in bounds. And Aikman took a hit.
Well, one thing about Aikman, he can take a hit. Watch the guy that hits him is number 57 right here, Corey Miller. And you're going to see him, if we can get the thing going here, you see him just come from the outside. No one blocks him. So he gets a straight shot. Right at this minute, he knows that he has a straight shot at Troy Aikman. So he just takes it. And Aikman, luckily, he had that dump off there.
3rd and 7. Emmitt Smith caught a Big 12 passes last week against Phoenix. Here's Aikman to throw it. Batted down by the Giants, by Keith Hamilton. And we'll see the first Cowboy punt of the day. They do look just out of sync.
Yeah, and that's a quarterback's fault. I mean, he was throwing to his right. Now he has Eric Williams over there, his right tackle, who's like 6'6" and 325 pounds. And then you see, watch here. Here's the thing. Now here's going to be the matchup. So you have to find a lane in there. You see, that's tough to throw over those guys. You have to find your own lane when you got a big right tackle like that.
Saxon. He's been in a slump, but this will help to make it at the 17 or 18. Taken down, the Giants will take over at their own 39. Here, the Giants' first half possession. possessions.
You know, and that's tough when you started, you know, your own 20, 38, and 20 is not bad, but your own 3, you know, that's a tough thing. Then at the end, it looks like Graham started to get a little more confidence with good field position. Look at the last one, their own 40. You know, you kind of get out there around midfield, they come out with a field goal, so he had to go in feeling pretty confident.
There were too many ohms on that fade.
Yeah, like others.
Ours. 1st and 10. Graham back to throw it on 1st down. Throws it around Tolbert to Hampton. Hampton is wrapped up by Kevin Smith. And out of bounds.
You know, there's a good example right there, Pat, of what you were just talking about is Kent Graham threw that one around Tolbert on the play before Aikman tried to throw it through. Now watch, you're going to get a rush. Riesenberg's right tackle is right there. Now, you have to find that lane. You have to throw it around 92. You can't throw it over him because he's going to jump up.
And he's
6'6". Yeah, and obviously you're not going to throw it through him. And the rookie Graham did it. Aikman didn't do it the play before.
2nd and 5. Blitz. Graham just barely got rid of the ball, but did to bunch. And a gain of 6 and a Giant 1st down. Norton hit Graham almost before he could make the handoff.
I'll tell you, Norton gets back there as quickly as a handoff. Watch, here comes Graham. Here comes number 51. And how he gets that ball handed off, you have no idea. Luckily, Bunch was coming inside. Because I think, watch Norton 51, he hits that hole perfectly. And you see Bunch, he could have hit Bunch perfectly.
1st and 10 in Dallas territory. Graham will throw it. And wide open is McCaffrey. Another Giant 1st down. Norton on the stop, 17-yard gain.
He was doing a pretty good job out there as Jumbo Elliott, the left tackle, because Charles Haley's one of the better pass rushers in the league. Now, he has a groin injury. He didn't play last week, Charles Haley. But Jumbo Elliott has done a good job of handling that because that's the toughest guy for a big guy like Jumbo. Jumbo's 6'7", 305 pounds, and big guys like that have trouble with speed, and Haley is speed.
Haley missed last week with a groin injury. This is Hampton. Nothing to it. Norton having a busy day.
Well, Norton didn't run by anything that time. He just waited right there for the cutback. Ken Norton Jr. Remember his dad, Ken Norton, when he was a heavyweight champion of the world? Remember he beat Muhammad Ali in San Diego.
I did a couple of his fights. Fine athlete.
Well, he's very proud of Ken Jr. playing here for the Dallas Cowboys, never played at UCLA.
Graham fell down, missed the tackle, incomplete. Everything went wrong that could. Howard crossed the intended receiver.
Yeah, you look at Ken Graham there, and you figure nothing worries this guy. Like he doesn't know any better. I mean, he's just in there playing and competing. Yeah, I mean, he's not scared. He's not worried. He's not nervous. He doesn't have time to, because look at this pressure. He was only sacked once so far, but he's been hurried 9 times. He's been knocked down 8 times. But the big thing is here that he hasn't had any interceptions. He hasn't given the Cowboys a ball.
3rd and 9, and that is so very important. Here comes a safety blitz. They didn't pick it up, but they still got the ball out to McCaffrey. Graham did. Not enough for a 1st down, 5-yard gain.
Yeah, but his just getting rid of that ball and keeping that field position was great, because Horton is going to come up here, number 20. He's right there in the middle. They don't even pick up that blitz. He gets not only a free run, but an inside free run. And Kent Graham didn't take his eyes off the receiver. He didn't worry about Horton coming. He just stood in there and threw it.
Barr will try the field goal from 44 yards. Left to play in the 3rd quarter. The artist at work. Earlier we showed you our 6-legged turkey. That's not it. But in a trophy case, Those are the previous winners and what they left.
Well, you see, this was the first one. That was when Eric Kramer got the turkey leg. Jerry Ball had the carcass. There's the carcass. Troy Aikman, Emmett Smith. You see, there's their turkey legs in the thing. When Reggie White, we gave him the first one, we couldn't find a leg to put in there. Reggie ate the whole thing. What we do, we have the shrine now. It's somewhere in Kansas. I'm not going to tell everyone where it is because we have a police guard there.
Very secure.
Kids come from all over the world to look at it.
A cherished prize. And today, there's 6 of them. We don't have to give them all away.
Well, the way this thing's going, I don't know that anyone's getting any.
How do you give a kicker a leg? Emmett Smith. Stopped by Corey Miller.
I mean, you come here and you think that the Cowboys are going to light it up a little because they have been one of the exciting teams in the league this year, but they aren't today. There's their defensive line coach, Butch Davis there, and there's talk about him being the new head coach at Arkansas. They talked to him, Frank Broyles, the athletic director, talked to him last week, and he said that he may be one of 4 or 5 candidates.
A Dallas first down stop, dragged down by Pepper Johnson.
This is one thing that the Cowboy offensive line has been doing well all day is pass protection. You watch him up front, you see big Nate Newton in there. He takes on Leonard Marshall, doesn't let any penetration come up the middle, so Aikman can just stand there and then step up and throw the ball.
There's the offensive line. Stepnoski, the anchor. Giesig and Newton, the guards. Tuine and Williams, the 2 tackles.
Yeah, that big Eric Williams, the right tackle. He's going to be a Pro Bowl player for a long time.
Aikman, incomplete. Intended for Michael Irvin. Flag on the play. Hit by Lamar McGriggs.
Looking, they got the ball was down there, a flag is down there, and a mouthpiece was down there.
Number 38, defense. First down.
So it's a pickup of 16.
There's Michael Irvin. Lamar McGriggs is number 38. He's going to come in here. Now, what they say is he had to get there before the ball got there. That looks awfully close to me. I mean, I think you have to let a defensive back play defense. I mean, he's going in there for the ball. Again, he does get there just a little before the ball got there. That's tough. Because if you stand there and let him catch it, they'll kill you.
First down. Out of bounds, chased by Carl Banks, no gain.
Yeah, they've had Emmett Smith pretty well corralled today, not only as a runner, but as a pass receiver. I mean, they're not going to let him get anything going.
You'd think, John, he would be about Aikman's 3rd choice to catch the ball, which means they're doing a pretty good job downfield of covering the wide receiver.
Well, and I think, you know, that they did the same thing last week. The Cardinals did the same thing. They took Michael Irvin away, and then they had to go to Emmett Smith. I think he caught 12 passes last week. That's not the way to move the football.
This is Smith with the ball. Hit by Eric Howard. 4-yard pickup.
You can see the giant offensive line there waiting again for another opportunity, and they've hung in there pretty well today, and they know that they have a rookie quarterback, and you have a rookie quarterback, you have to give him protection. There are going to be things going. You're going to get a different count. It's going to be a different sound. You're going to snap the ball sometimes. He's not ready, and that's all happened.
3rd down. Aikman under pressure. Got rid of it. Aikman took another shot. 10-yard gain. Harper, the reception.
That's one thing that the Giants in this second half, they're getting to Aikman now. They're starting to put more pressure on him. That was the corner. That was Renee Thompson who came in. He was outside in a cover position. Then he came just off that tackle, and he blitzed off that right tackle, and they didn't get him blocked.
And they had nobody to block him.
It was a pretty well-timed blitz, and that's when Aikman sees that. That's when you have to take that one yourself, and you have to get rid of the ball.
To Emmitt Smith. Started about the 30, gained 3. 6:40 left to play in the third quarter. 9-3 Dallas leading. It'll make it 2nd and 7. You were asking Jimmy Johnson yesterday if his players really took this Thanksgiving Day game against the Giants seriously. He said, I think so, but never as serious as I do.
And I don't think they did take it seriously.
Blitzes. Smith gets the reception. Duke away from one man to the 10. Smith, touchdown.
Officials. Here you see again, he's had to dump it off. He hasn't had anything open deep. He's been getting pressure. Smith made a heck of a move on Renee Thompson. Renee Thompson is a pretty good open field tackler. He sure wasn't on that play.
The extra point is good. And Dallas leads it 16-3. That was a heck of a move right there. Didn't ever touch him, did he? Touchdown to Emmitt Smith. Keep the ball, Emmitt. (16-3). Meggett and Smith back deep for the Giants. The story of Dallas scoring play, scoring drive. The play, the touchdown pass, Aikman to Smith. And that's what happened to the ball that Emmitt Smith scored with. Safely under lock and key. 16-3.
Tell Marcelo, happy Thanksgiving, guys. Hopefully I can get a piece of that turkey today. Oh, right here.
Within college at Auburn, flag on this play. Hampton, the ball carrier.
Yeah, that was before the game. They were all full of Thanksgiving cheer, and this is not only Thanksgiving, but it's Bo Jackson's birthday. Tommy Agee was wishing everyone a happy Thanksgiving and Bo a happy birthday.
What did he say? He's about 40?
I know, but they played together at Auburn, so Tommy must be about 40.
Defense. First down.
That's Ray Horton right there in the face mask on Hampton.
So it's first down Giants at their own 34. Dallas leading 16-3. 5.5 minutes left third quarter. First and 10. Rookie quarterback Kent Graham. Dallas blitzing. Nowhere to throw. And nowhere to go. Robert Jones led the blitzing Cowboys.
I think Ken Graham knows that. it because it's coming. He turns to his right. The pressure comes from his right. See, the free man right there comes out. He just has to throw that ball. He has to get rid of it. Robert Jones, number 55, was free, coming in his face, and you'd have to take the sack or throw that one away. He's an interesting case. Number 1 draft choice from East Carolina. In fact, the Cowboys have 2 starting linebackers and a linebacker coach from East Carolina.
2nd and 10. Again they blitz. It's Norton that chases Graham out of the pocket. But he evades that and gets it complete to Callaway. Not quite a first down, a gain of 9.
Yeah, anytime you get Dave Meggett here in the backfield, what the idea is to get up there and try and blitz and make him think you're coming and make him stay in and block. You see how he had to block Norton there? That way, if you blitz, then you don't have to cover him. Then you make him go to other guys like Callaway. Because everyone that plays against Dave Meggett doesn't want him to come out of the backfield and pass him down.
They say that's the one guy you got to know where he is when the Giants have the ball. This is bunt. They won't get anything. Brown and Smith.
And I'll tell you who made the play, though, was Jim Jeffcoat. Jim Jeffcoat is in there at right defensive end for Charles Haley, and he gets the penetration. And if you just watch right here, the thing on short yardage, you can't allow his penetration. And watch Jeffcoat get the penetration. Boom, he hits the gap. You see it right there. Once he got in there 3 yards into the backfield, the play didn't have a chance. Then all those other things happened.
Rocop back to bunt. Off the side of his foot. Kelvin Martin fields it. And is taken down quickly by Bart Oates. 32-yard punt and a 4-yard return. 16-3 Dallas.
You are watching the National Football League on CBS Sports.
Saturday on Olympic Winterfest, countdown to Lillehammer. A new age in women's figure skating begins. For the first time, amateurs and professionals will compete in the same competition at the Chrysler Concord Pro-Am Figure Skating Challenge. Coverage begins at 4:30 Eastern Saturday here on CBS.
Hey, you can't beat that, Pat. We got football here today, Thanksgiving in Dallas, and on Sunday, we're going to be in San Francisco, the Eagles and the 49ers, and then sandwiched in between us a good old skate.
Intended for Irvin from Aikman. McGriggs with him.
I'll tell you, that McGriggs has been all over the field today, making tackles and doing everything. Let's watch the protection here. You know, I was talking about the right tackle here, Eric Williams, as being one of the real good ones. And I think that he's so big and so strong. You see how, watch immediately, his arms come out and he gets his hands out on Dorsey like that. From that point on, you don't have a chance. When a guy is that big and that strong and his arms are that long, there's no way you're going to go through him and you can't go around him.
And great footwork, too. This is Emmitt Smith. Emmitt off to the races. Emmitt Smith.
Just keep giving him the ball and some good things are going to happen. And it happened off that right side.
Behind Giesick and Williams. Emmitt Smith, his second of the day, 15 carries, 112 yards for Smith. Extra point is good. Dallas 23, the Giants 3. Kickoff handled by Joey Smith. And Smith again gets out to the 22.
You know, blocks here. We were talking about Eric Williams. He gets a block here. Giesick gets a block here. Alfredo Roberts gets a block here. These guys both know where the plays go, and they point to it, and then whap. Emmett Smith takes it right through that hole. Look at that block of Williams. Then Giesick. Then Alfredo Roberts. Then Nate Newton from the backside, and no one touches him. Hey, that's why you keep giving the ball to Emmitt Smith. You give it to him off tackle, you give it to him inside. Every play isn't going to be a big one, but some of them are going to be a big one.
Eventually, he'll pop something out of there. On first down, Graham back to throw. Incomplete. Out to Hampton.
Remember, we did that game. And Emmitt Smith today, he looks fresh. Remember that game against Philadelphia?
Oh, yeah.
I tell you, they ran him, and in this play here, this was November 1st. He said he wasn't tired then. He was just relaxing.
He still says he wasn't tired.
I know it, but I think that was the most exhausted football player I've ever seen. Now look at him now. He's fresh. It's Thanksgiving. It's crisp out there. He's got a couple of touchdowns. It's fresh. He wasn't fresh on that other game.
Got his 100 yards now. Here's Graham back to throw. Out to Hampton again. And Hampton hit down at the 30. Smith, Vincent Smith, and Jones.
We were talking about that last time that Dallas was in there on defense and Jim Jeffcoat made that big play. He was in there for Charles Haley. And I think that Haley aggravated that groin again. And so Jeffcoat has been playing. I mean, he's been playing right side and left side. Haley's back in there now, and Jeffcoat's playing on the other side.
Along with Leon Lett. Jeffcoat in Graham's face. He had to throw low. Meggett couldn't hang on.
Yeah, Jim Jeffcoat's a guy that is really, when you talk about a team player, it's Jim Jeffcoat. And that's what, you know, he's been the right end. They bring in Charles Haley, and Haley starts in front of him. Jeffcoat just takes it. They play him at left end. They play him inside. And wherever he plays, he not only does it, doesn't say a word, but he comes up with big plays for the Cowboys.
In his case, I remember someone telling us there is no I in team, and he fits that bill.
And he played when Haley last week couldn't play against the Cardinals. Jim Jeffcoat was outstanding.
Prokop's kick. They're caught by Kelvin Martin. Dallas 23. The Giants 3, 2:44 left in the third quarter. This whale's eye view is from the airship Shamu, the SeaWorld blimp. SeaWorld rescues and rehabilitates hundreds of marine animals each year, and its parent company, Anheuser-Busch, are committed to marine life conservation. Looking down right now at Texas Stadium.
Yeah, what do you think of the people that started football, if they were looking down at that same shot? And they said, that's a football stadium. They go, nah, what? That's a what? And there's what flying over? And there's what on the floor? You mean it's not grass anymore? They play on a carpet? And they got a roof with hole in it?
They got elevators?
Elevators? And
wires?
Some of the places have roofs without holes in them?
Got numbers on the uniforms?
And there's no more grass and dirt? And there's names in the back of the jerseys?
Jim Jeffcoat.
And if you have the same last name, you can have a first initial, and the Cowboys lead the name in Smiths. They have 4 Smiths on their team. So therefore, you can have your last name and your first initial.
Harper was the man in motion, and this is Emmitt Smith. Emmitt out for a gain of 6, stopped by Pepper Johnson and Perry Williams.
Yeah, the good thing about playing on Thanksgiving Day, especially for the winning team, is that you have a long 10 days after the game is over. Now, you don't like getting ready before. It's a short week. You're really not rested up. But if you win the game, it becomes a real advantage.
They get a couple of days off. This is the 25th time the Cowboys have played on Thanksgiving Day. Used to be just Green Bay and Detroit in Detroit every year. Vince Lombardi put a stop to that. Alternating teams, and then Dallas picked up the tradition. Aikman to Novacek, first down, midfield.
Again, you just watch that big Eric Williams over there at tackle. There's Jumbo Elliott on the Giant side, one of the good tackles in this league. And on the other side out there in the field is Eric Williams, who I think is probably one of the good ones right now, but is going to be one of the best ones. Just watch his work here. He's going against Eric Dorsey, but he gets those big hands out there, and he's so big and strong that all he has to do is take a right hand, and boom, he just pushes the guy right around the pile.
And you know, there's something else about him that I know you admire. Great footwork.
Yeah. As one foot moves, the other foot's always right there with it.
Aikman out to Smith. Didn't hold it.
I mean, he is a big guy, and then, you know, he's from a small school. He went to Central State in Ohio. But when you get a guy 6'6", 320 pounds from Philadelphia, did a little boxing there, and you just know that this guy has to be an NFL player, especially when you see him move. Now, there's a lot of big old guys around, and there's probably a lot of big old guys around now because they've just been eating turkey all day, but they don't move and have the athletic ability that this guy has.
2nd and 10. Handoff again to Smith, right side, not much. 2 yards. Over on the Giants sideline, the other rookie quarterback, Kent Graham, has played so far. This is Dave Brown, the number one draft choice in the supplemental draft.
Yeah, which means that they picked him after the draft, but they use next year's number one draft choice. So next year they don't have a number one draft choice, but they have Dave Brown.
And they say he is everything they thought he was going to be when they took him.
Yeah, but you wonder about that when they start Kent Graham.
Yeah.
You know, and again, he wasn't in camp, but he's been there a long time. He's been there long enough now to play this game.
Aikman under pressure from Howard and Marshall. Threw it in the direction of Emmitt Smith. Incomplete. And Saxon will get another chance. Make it deep. Saxon to punt. Mike was saying yesterday at practice that he had been in a little bit of a slump. And he had 15 or 16 different reasons why.
That's what punters and kickers, they have so many reasons because they have so much time standing around to think about it and count them up.
Down at the 3 by Kenneth Gant. A reminder that this Sunday on the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern Time, you'll hear from the Bears All-Pro linebacker Mike Singletary in a way you have never heard from him before.
Hey, baby! Hey, baby! We're going to be here all day! We're going to be here all day, baby! I like this kind of party! I like this kind of party, baby! All right! Bring it, baby! I like this kind of party!
What?
That's a happy Thanksgiving from Mike Singletary.
I like this kind of party.
Well, that's the way the great linebackers do. I mean, they talk about guys that like to hit. Mike Singletary was one of those.
Bunch was the ball carrier. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. Dallas 23, the Giants 6, Giants 3. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Set to start the fourth quarter at Texas Stadium. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 23-3 the score. Dallas leading. 2 touchdowns Emmitt Smith in the second half. Giving the Cowboys room. 2nd and 6. Giants ball back at their own 7-yard line. Graham still the quarterback. Hand off to Hampton. Hit it about the 8. Surge got him up to the 10. A gain of 4. Leon Lett and Jones made the stop.
You know, it's funny. You look at the Giants now, and they're where the Cowboys were a couple years ago, and the Cowboys now are where the Giants were a couple years ago. And I think you have to give a lot of credit to Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, Jimmy Johnson. He came in, and 18 of the 22 starters are new. He brought them in. He brought in new guys, and he completely changed this team around.
3rd and short. Graham to throw it in the direction of Meggett. They made some changes, as you said.
Well, you know, when Jimmy Johnson comes someplace, he said he looked at the team, he thought they were pretty good. He timed them, he said, we can't play with these guys. So he started doing, I mean, they drafted 54 players. You know about the Herschel Walker trade. They made 46 trades. They had 32, I mean, they had waivers and trades and drafts and Plan B and everything that you could have. They just kept bringing in new players.
The important thing is they did something. They really made some changes. High kick. Martin signals for the fair catch right at midfield. 14:06 left to play in the ball game. 38-yard kick. 23-3 the score.
This game summary is sponsored by Budweiser.
Emmitt Smith has 161 yards, 2 touchdowns. Elliott of Dallas made 3 field goals, 12 straight for team record. Troy Aikman, 15 out of 23. That's the direction you'll be heading.
Well, you see this? Yep, the sun is setting right there. It always sets in the west. We're here. We got to go to San Francisco, so I'm going to go right towards the sun where it's setting.
Well, it always sets in the west.
I know it, but I just got to get going before it gets dark, so I get pointed in the right direction and just keep going on that direction, eating turkey.
You don't stop when the sun sets.
But I'm going to get my bearings. I'm just going to put it right here, just like this. Just follow that X, just like that. I just put that and grain that in, and then we can take over.
I can just see you headed in the bus in the sunset with that 6-legged turkey chasing you.
You know, this is one of the first sunsets I'm ever going to see in my life. You know, because everyone talks about they're going to look at a sunset, and it usually takes too long, and you never see when it happens. I think we may see this one. There it is.
It's amazing. That's amazing.
That's the first time I've ever seen a sunset in my life.
It's amazing how fast it left. That's Turvin Richards and a flag on the play. 5 yards for Richards. Ed Reynolds made the stop. Why is that the first sunset you ever saw?
I don't know, because everyone talks about watching a sunset, and then I look and the sun's up there, and then I don't have patience to sit and watch it. So I start to watch it, and then it's all, you know, it gets boring, and I walk away, and then it's dark, and I miss it. That's the first time I've ever saw the sun go down in my life.
Well, I guess that's a logical reason.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you watch it and it's way up here, and you think, wow, I'll watch the sunset, and I'll watch it, and you say, ah, the heck with it, and you walk away. Then the next thing you know, it's dark. You never did see at the point where it went underneath.
The key is patience.
Very little of that.
Back is Aikman. One thing he's been patient, incomplete. Michael Irvin, the intended receiver. Mark Collins, the defender.
Yeah, who hasn't been very patient is Michael Irvin. I think he's getting upset because he's a guy who likes to, you know, play. He likes to compete. He likes to win, but he wants to be part of the game. And as you see, 3 catches for 32 yards. He's looking up at himself now. He has not been a part of this game.
And he wasn't last week.
Oh, I know it. And they're, you know, starting to take him away. And I think that, you know, maybe Norv Turner and the coaches have to do something to move him around a little to get him open. Maybe when they do roll a zone towards him, they still have to throw it to him. I don't think
just let them zone him or roll to him and not throw it to him.
Much like the 49ers do with Jerry Rice. Incomplete. Pass intended for Kelvin Martin. Aikman down again. Philip Sparks, the tackler.
That by Leonard Marshall. He's going to come from Aikman's left. You see number 70 coming from the outside. He just runs right through Tuanay, and he hits Aikman just as he throws the ball. Mark Tuanay has done a pretty good job of blocking Leonard Marshall most of the day, but on that time, Marshall won that pass rush.
Saxon back to punt. Meggett deep for the Giants at the 10. Saxon just got it away, but it's a good kick. Meggett takes it at the 12. Not much room to roam. Dixon Edwards down in a hurry to make the stop. A 44-yard punt, a 7-yard return.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by the Heartbeat of America, Chevrolet, and your local Chevy dealer. Nintendo, get your daily dose of fun with Game Boy. Have you had your fun today? And by Florsheim ComfortTech shoes. Try a pair and get comfortable.
12:37 left to play.
There's a group.
Don't worry, Mom. Well, if you're worried about what to do with those 6 legs, there's a place to give them.
Yeah, I got plenty of turkey. I mean, I got that turkey with the 6 legs that's smoked, and turkey left over from last night. Then I'll have other leftover turkey, and we're heading towards that sunset.
But it's gone.
Yeah.
Graham is still the quarterback. Back to throw it. It's high. Incomplete. Intended for Howard Cross.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Ken Graham, though. I mean, you look, he's 12 for 26, 151 yards, but the guy hasn't played an awful lot of football. He's really getting rushed. He's being knocked around. They know that they have to throw the ball. The Giants aren't what they used to be in any area, but the guy hangs in there. You know, a quarterback cannot look at the rush. He has to look beyond the rush and downfield, and that's one thing that Kent Graham has done today.
They say you can't look at it or you can't feel it either. That is the rush. I don't see how you can not feel it. Here's Graham. Again, the pressure's on. Hit it for Meggett. Hit by Washington.
I'll guarantee you, he felt that one. He felt it twice. He felt it when they hit him, and then when he hit the turf. I mean, they're really getting after him. Watch Jim Jeffcoat here. He's coming on Jumbo Elliott. Just gives him a move, goes right by him, and then Russell Maryland's in the middle, Tony Casillas in the middle, then Jeffcoat falls on top.
I was walking down to the field earlier. Somebody asked me why they call Jumbo Elliott Jumbo. 6'7" and 320.
Yeah. What else would you call him? Shorty? Well, that Graham has been under some kind of pressure today. But the Cowboys know he has to pass.
There's some more. Incomplete. Callaway, the intended receiver, Ray Horton, came on a blitz.
You know, here's why they call him Jumbo. Now watch that stance here. He's all ready to go. I mean, he doesn't even put a hand down or anything. He knows that in Haley he has speed, and he has to get out there. And as he said, he has to have a strong inside hand. See that right hand? He has to have a strong inside hand. Bring that right hand in, and then just push him to the outside.
Prokop again. Now that's tackle talk.
Tackle talk. Strong inside hand.
Martin. Cowboys will take over at about the 48. Corey Miller down to make the stop. 37-yard punt. 23-3 the score. Dallas leads.
Working to be the best they can be. Teammates. 8, sponsored by the U.S. Army. Dallas coach Jimmy Johnson has ample reason for confidence this season. In quarterback Troy Aikman, wide receiver Michael Irvin, number 88, and running back Emmitt Smith. His offense boasts a trio of top draft pick superstars. Individually, they are brilliant. Together, they make the Cowboys the best they can be.
My life. I think they're quicker down here in Texas. So I think if we go fast, we still may catch it sitting someplace else.
Most things are quicker here. Aikman gets it outside to Darrell Johnson. Broke the tackle, got a first down. Lamar McGriggs.
Yeah, this is usually when Darrell Johnston gets the ball is at this time of the game. You know, at the end of the game, after all the thing, he's done all the hard work, he's done all the blocking, he's done all that stuff. Then they usually give him a bone at the end of the game.
He's over to the sideline now.
Well, he had his bone.
Yeah, just asked him over there. What was that thing they threw me?
I was surprised early in the game. Remember, they got down there and they gave it to him on second down. And I said, whoa, where'd that one come from?
So was he surprised. This is Richards. To about the 34, stopped by Eric Dorsey, but he got 4.
There's that defense. Russell Maryland, number 67 there. Tony Casillas sitting next to him. Casillas was telling us about the restaurants in town. Ken Norton Jr., Tony Colbert. Casillas looks fresh.
Yeah, he does.
You know, when you play tackle in there and you weigh 280, 290 pounds, and you can look like that after the game, you're in pretty good shape.
I don't know. He was asking a lot of questions about golf yesterday. Down goes Richards. Stopped by Perry Williams.
There's my man Nate Newton, number 61 there. Old Nate lost a heck of a lot of weight. You know, he got up to 400 pounds.
He lost weight?
Well, we just found some of it, I think. He did lose. I mean, he was up to 400, then he went all the way down to like 290. Then he said they were throwing him around like a rag doll, and then he went up to 300, then 310. So he likes around 310, 315. He says if he gets up to 315, he says then he really starts to worry. But Nate, when he starts pulling his pants up after every play, then he got to take some more weight off. That's a rule.
Richards. Nate says sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night, and those movies just won't do it. You got to eat, he said.
Oh, yeah. They say, well, try and think about something else. And man, when you love to eat like I love to eat, you don't think about anything else. So once he's done playing, he's just going to get fat.
Truly fat.
Not smelly fat. Truly fat. And Nate has them all categorized. But I'll tell you what, this guy's a heck of a player. I mean, he's really playing with a bad knee, should have had surgery, a real tough guy, very solid in the middle, and has really helped this Cowboy team.
4th and 2. Aikman back in the pocket. Gets his first down to Michael Irvin. To the Giant 25, they picked up 5.
Yeah, a lot of times you talk about a guy like Nate, and you talk about his size, his weight, and you forget that the guy is a good player. I mean, just watch him here. He's a left guard here, and he stays square. Pepper Johnson is going to rush on him. Boom, he just gets him. He keeps him right there in the line of scrimmage. That was Carl Banks rushing against him. But he just gets square, just stays right on him. You don't get any penetration in the middle when Nate Newton's there.
It looked like Banks couldn't decide which way to go. Couldn't even see around which way to go.
Yeah, that's the thing. Big Nate, he'll block the quarterback out of it.
8.5 minutes left. Richards, flag on the play. And a fumble on the play as well.
I don't know that whistleblower, he was down. That looked like that ball came out before he was down. They may say that the whistleblower, he was down, but it didn't look like it from here.
Cowboy offensive unit stays on the field.
Offside. 77 defense. Still first down.
Offside.
So it's not going to count anyway.
Right.
Because the guy that recovered the ball was the guy who was offside. See, because Kervin Richards, he does fumble. I mean, there was no whistle or anything. That ball comes out before he goes down. Eric Dorsey, number 77, jumps on it. But, of course, Eric Dorsey, number 77, was offside, so the play doesn't count.
1st and 5. Eric Howard made the hit that knocked it loose. Kervin Richards. Down to the 10. Greg Jackson, the stop.
Yeah, this is what you call wearing a defense down. And you just watch Big Nate here. You say you need some movement in there in the middle. And you just start taking him, and he just runs the thing out. Just run, let it. He wants to go out that way. Just get him torqued. If he wants to go that way, you see, you get your right hand right on the 7 and just push him right by the way he wants to go, and that'll create the hole. Sometimes these guys are so big and strong, you can't take them the way they don't want to go, but you can take them the way they want to go.
And then it becomes up to the back to read that. Tommy Agee was the man in motion. Kervin Richards again. Inside the 10 to about the 8. Carl Banks on the stop.
Yeah, we were talking about Jimmy Johnson. He changed 18 out of the 22 guys. And it's interesting, the University of Miami is number 1 in college football. And this man here, Jimmy Johnson, recruited or brought in 18 of those 22 current starters.
He was telling me before the game down the field that we were talking about this figure, 18 out of the 22. He said it would have been more, except 2 of them got hurt. You think he doesn't keep track of things?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I mean, he knows. I mean, you know, I mean, there are a lot of good head coaches, but not all of them are talent people. Jimmy Johnson is a good head coach who is a personnel guy.
Novacek is a 5. Run out of bounds by Reynolds and Collins.
And here's a man you wonder about, you know, what's going on in his mind and with his team. I mean, nothing has gone right for Ray Hanley or the New York Giants this year. I mean, from, you know, bringing in Rod Rust, the defensive coordinator, they didn't get that down. Who was going to be the starting quarterback? Do you talk to the press? Do you not talk to the press? And, you know, you just have to be balanced. And no matter what happens, everyone has to stand up to it. And the Giants haven't done a good job of that.
Here's Aikman again. Touchdown to Harper. Flag on the play. From 4 yards out, Aikman to Harper. But a penalty marker down. A lot of milling around going on.
Holding. 23 defense. It's declined.
Holding against Perry Williams. It is a touchdown.
And that's the side that Harper was on, too. That was just that slant. 3-step drop. Boom, just throw it in there. What was he's going to 3-step drop, just throw that slant in there to the left. The guy that was called for the penalty was Perry Williams, who was covering out Harper.
The extra point is good. Leads by the score of 30-3.
That's going to be a heck of a matchup. One of the best offenses in football against one of the best defenses in football.
You could almost say the best in both categories. Certainly talent-wise. Megan trying to stretch it out. Hit down by Chad Hennings and a flag on the play.
I'll tell you, it's funny. The Cowboys are getting more intense and fired up and playing a heck of a lot harder as this game goes on. They were kind of sleepwalking in that first half, but whatever happened at halftime, they sure turned it around, and they look like a totally different team. They look like a fun team in this second half and an explosive team.
Holding. Number 37 on the receiving team doing the run back. First down.
Holding against Jesse Campbell. 30-3, 5:53 left. Dave Brown comes in as the quarterback for the Giants.
something about both Kent Graham, who was the rookie who just went out, and Dave Brown, who we're looking at now. Again, the only two active quarterbacks in the Giants today, both rookies, but they're both big guys. They're both 6 feet 5 inches.
And about 220. Brown back in his own end zone. Gets it outside. Cross gets out to the 10. Tripped up by Woodson. Today's game was produced by Bob Stenner and directed by Sandy Grossman. The coordinating producer of the NFL today is Eric Mann. NFL Today directed by Duke Struck, and the senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin. Second and 8. Winding down to 5 minutes left to play in this game. 30-3 Dallas. They had a great record on Thanksgiving Day. And for the most part, a great record after that. Big Leon left. Over Brown. Jimmy Jones there with an assist.
You know, there's a guy, you know, we talked about Eric Williams, but here's a guy on defense, Leon Lett, who's going to be a good defensive player for a long time, too. You saw William Roberts, he just tried to cut him, and Lett ran right by him. But, I mean, he's a big guy, big cat Lett, 300-pound guy. And he's one of those guys that's going to be in there for a long time and be a good player for a long time. And the Cowboys have a lot of young players, the youngest team in the league, but they also have a lot of talented players.
Talent, young talent, is pretty good. The draw play to Megan. Chased down by Clayton Holmes. And a flag on the play again.
Well, you know, the one thing when Jimmy Johnson came in, he says that they didn't have any speed, they needed speed. They got speed, and the other teams in this division didn't. You know, the Washington Redskins don't have speed now. The New York Giants don't have speed now. And Jimmy Johnson and the Dallas Cowboys do have speed, and they're the dominant team in the division now.
And to add to that, not only do they have speed, they have that size you talked about.
Yeah,
guys like Lett.
Yeah, they can get in a slugging match with you.
Yep.
Nate Newton, we saw him, big Eric Williams, and then you have a running back like Emmitt Smith, one of the best in football. Michael Irvin, always a threat, although he wasn't today.
51, defense. Still third down.
Face mask violation against Norton. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League. This CBS telecast intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Dallas Cowboys, and the National Football League is prohibited. Brown gives the bunch.
You know, we talked about the Redskins, you know, they don't really have that speed that they used to have, and this team doesn't. I mean, this team drafted a lot of offensive players. They didn't draft any defensive players, number one. In fact, Jared Bunch was a number one draft choice, and you lose a guy like Lawrence Taylor, and you say, why aren't the Giants winning all the time? Because they're not good enough to anymore.
And they're not getting any younger. Incomplete. And a flag again on the play. Chris Callaway, the intended receiver.
They threw the flag right at the area where the quarterback Brown was hit by Ken Norton Jr.
Holding.
So it was either going to be holding on Meggett, who was blocking Norton, or it'll be on Norton if he hit Brown. And if it's holding, it's probably on Meggett.
Holding, 30, offense. Still first down.
Yeah, you can see it. Here's Meggett right here. Norton is going to come in the blitz. You see him coming straight up the middle. And you see the collision there. And then he grabs around with his right arm. But that's a tough thing Meggett had to do. I mean, just stand there and the guy gets a full-speed run at you. You can't step up. What are you supposed to do?
First and 20 at the 14. Brown back again. And a flag on the play. Robert Williams McCaffrey. Holding on the defense. Dallas leading 30-3 with 3:29 remaining.
Here's old Big Cat Lett, number 78.
Holding, 26, defense. First down.
Holding called against Kevin Smith. Another of those number 1 draft choices you were talking about. Here's Kent Graham.
And another one of those guys with speed that can play.
Very good man-to-man coverage.
He started last week against the Cardinals, did very well, and started today and he played well. He really replaced Isaac Holt.
Brown to throw it. Chase, screen pass, make it. Finally hit down. Another flag on this play. Evan Smith came up to make the initial hit. Johnny Greer's had a busy day. This against the Giants. You stop and think, John, in the beginning of the year, almost every game you heard or we did, someone said, well, we don't have instant replay this year. And all of a sudden, I haven't heard anything about it.
No, and of course, I'm one of the guys who believed it should have been there.
85, offense. Still first down.
Again, you know, that has been our Thanksgiving Day tradition to present to the most valuable player, in our opinion, a turkey leg and a turkey. First and 19. We'll get into that in just a second. Brown back again. Again, he's under pressure. Chased in the end zone. Hay and Jeffcoat get him out of bounds. There is the present they'll get. And you name the recipients.
Well, what we have there, Pat, is it's a bird from you, the smoked turkey. It has 6 legs, and you can see there's just 5 of them there. The turkey leg award is going to go to Emmitt Smith. Now, I thought, now we got 5 other legs there, so we would give the 5 offensive linemen of the Cowboys, we'd give these guys each a leg, too, because Emmitt Smith would want it that way. And then what the heck, when you got big old guys like Eric Williams and Nate Newton in there, we may as well give them the 5 legs and the whole bird.
And they'll find something to do with it.
They'll appreciate it.
Lett had Brown. He got away, and Lett got him back. The big cat.
He looked like a big cat on that play. I mean, this guy is really going to be something. I mean, you just look at him. He has the size, he has the speed, he has the quickness. Watch this move here. He starts inside, does the head slap, goes to the outside, breaks up a double team, goes for the head, spins around, comes back, and makes the tackle down below. That is a heck of a play. Now, they've been on these quarterbacks all day. I mean, they only had 3 sacks, but 19 hurries, 13 knockdowns. I mean, the Giants haven't had a chance. That's a Thanksgiving record for putting pressure on a quarterback.
Meggett with the draw play. The old standard play that has worked for so many years for the Giants, back to the days of Tony Galbraith.
Personal foul, face mask, number 37 defense. First down.
James Washington.
James Washington is playing strong safety today. Remember, he was a free safety. Thomas Everett, who was a strong safety, tore a rotator cuff, so he's out. So they activated Ray Horton, and he played free safety. And James Washington, who you see with the penalty right here, became the strong safety.
10 Giants. 2:24 left to play. Brown, Myers, flag again on the play. Howard Cross, the intended receiver, Darren Woodson, the Dallas defender. Big Leonard Marshall, it's been a frustrating year for him, too.
Well, it's been a frustrating year for all the Giants. I think it started out in training camp. And then just as recent as a couple weeks ago, remember that Sunday night game against Denver?
Yeah.
That day the Redskins lost, the Cowboys lost. They had a chance to get back in it, then they lose to Denver.
66 offense.
Leonard brought up a very good point when we were talking to him, saying when something like this goes on, you start to worry about not your own position. You start to worry about, are the other people in the right place? Are they doing the right thing? And then you stop doing an effective job yourself.
I think that's one of the problems the Giants have had all year. They've done too much worrying and not enough playing.
Brown got rid of it to McCaffrey. Woodson with the stop. McCaffrey has taken some real hits today.
You know, but he's a guy who could be a real good third or fourth wide receiver because he's one of those possession guys. And if they had a little speed outside, you know, if they had a guy like a Michael Irvin, McCaffrey would go very well with him.
And he's about 6'5", so a good target also. This afternoon, on behalf of NFL Charities, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones and Giant president Wellington Mara announced an NFL charity grant to the United Negro College Fund, making the NFL's total commitment more than $550,000 to that minority educational fund. NFL Charities was formed by the NFL clubs so that the clubs could collectively make grants to worthy national causes. In recent years, NFL Charities has made grant commitments of more than $13 million. Airship Shamu, painted black and white like America's favorite killer whale at SeaWorld. Shamu is joined by dolphins, penguins, sharks, and other fascinating sea creatures at SeaWorld in Florida, California, Texas, and Ohio. Dark up there.
All those fascinating creatures.
You just have to take my word for it. It was painted black and white. Stephen Baker, the intended receiver.
You know, you like an old equipment guy. You always tell an old equipment guy, yeah, Buck Buchanan there, and because they got that belt, and they always have stuff hanging from them.
Yep.
You know, it's not only keys. I mean, they get, you know, anything you need, an old equipment guy always has. You know, he's a guy who was
and he never loses it.
No, he was a supply sergeant in the service, and he got everything tied right to him. He always has what they call, I have it on my person.
Buck takes care of everything. He locks up the chewing gum. Brown laterals to Megan. Megan taken down.
I don't think they're going to let Brown have that lateral as if anyone cared, because the whistle blew before he lateraled it. I think it was one of those in the grass things, and they stopped the play. It's interesting for a rookie like Dave Brown to be wearing a glove. Most quarterbacks don't wear gloves. Randall Cunningham is one of the few that does. You know, Jim McMahon, when it gets cold, well, to throw a spiral.
He could have the plays written on that one.
He could have the plays inside him.
There's Buck's belt.
Yeah, I mean, just look at it. I mean, he has everything on that. I mean, anything that you would need. I mean, there's look, and you got stuff, you put stuff in, and you got the belt, and you know, the pants that is hanging down, and you know, stuff tied to everything. And like I said, whatever you need, Buck has on his person.
Needle nose pliers if you don't need the regular kind. Happy Thanksgiving from all of those guys.
And
do
those
such a
guys.
great job.
It's tough in this league playing with veteran quarterbacks, but when you only have two quarterbacks and they're both rookies, it's impossible.
Tonight on CBS begins with the Sears Family Theater presentation of E.T., the Extraterrestrial. Starts at 8 Eastern, then it's Evening Shade beginning at 10:30 Eastern tonight on CBS. Kevin Smith back deep for the Cowboys this time to handle the punt by Prokop. Across midfield to the 45. McGee on the stop.
I'll tell you, these guys are going to feel real good today. This Cowboy team, you look at them after the game now. They got 10 days. Jimmy Johnson's going to give them Saturday and Sunday off. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he gave them Friday off, too.
Well, he told them they had to come in tomorrow to look at tapes and what have you, but he might rescind that.
Yeah, once you score 30 points, and you look at their standings, they're 10-2. Philadelphia's 7-4. They're the next closest team. Washington, the Giants, I would think today would be eliminated from most postseason consideration. And so they're really in good stand. In fact, when you look at the whole NFL, I would think that Dallas, 49ers, and Buffalo, those are probably the three best teams in football.
Well, Dallas, Jerry Jones, now he's having a good time. Bought the Cowboys 4 years ago, brought in his college roommate, Jimmy Johnson, and they've done some job of rebuilding this franchise.
Well, he made it fun. He has a lot of life. He has a lot of spirit. He had a belief. He sold something, and it's paying off for him.
And nobody's enjoying it more than he. So happy Thanksgiving one more time from Dallas, where the Cowboys beat the Giants 30-3. A dominating type game for the Cowboys. They didn't take advantage of a lot of scoring opportunities in the first half, but came out in the second half and did. So for John Madden, this is Pat Summerall saying so long from Texas Stadium, where the score was Dallas 30, the Giants 3. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.